Oh, so I stumbled across a really great page yesterday. I think his name's Cody. I'm upset I can't find that now. And he's like this teenager, 20-something, who has made some of the best Epstein videos I've ever seen. It's good to be seen, Billy Bob. So, oh, Coop, that's his name. The channel is just called Coop. This is what his channel looks like. Scooper of Coop is the @Scooper of Coop.
Oh, hey, you must be here for the channel intro.
And this video is just insane. It's called Epstein is Alive. Here's the proof.
Like and subscribe, join the Discord, the Minecraft server, and the Patreon. Now let's dive. I spent the last 3 weeks of my life digging up the real, unknown information about Jeffrey Epstein. You know him, the beloved financier and philanthropist. And his esteemed girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell.
So
Harris.
this is what YouTube shows me now. On a random video about Epstein, you are not alone. Suicide crisis hotline. I can just call or chat just this easily. Are you fucking kidding me? Just so everybody knows, I would never kill myself. So, if a Sandra Bland situation ever happens with me, you absolutely know I didn't do it. You guys remember Sandra Bland? Remember how they killed that girl and covered that shit up? Killed that woman and covered that shit up. But I want to talk about Sandra Bland, but it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Everything doesn't matter when you like, it's like climbing the rungs of the ladder, right? Oh, look, we have a pedophile. Mike is a pedophile. Mike, I hope you and the rest of the pedophiles kill yourself. Because we can't do it ourselves. If we were allowed to do it ourselves, I would be the first one to pull the trigger. But we're not allowed to. But see, this is how you know he's a pedophile, right? Because when I acknowledge that he's a pedophile, he doubles down. He doesn't deny it. He doesn't say anything to the contrary. This is joined 5 months ago and has no subscribers. That sounds like a real profile to me, doesn't it? Sound like a real profile to you? It sounds like a real person there. This is Israeli propaganda. This is an Israeli operation. This is Team Jorge. This is act.il. This is what they do. And he said someone stomped on and smashed her feller. And now you call it your little feller. Are you okay now? Yeah. No, my penis is so small. Because, let's talk about we should kill pedos, the list, all that stuff. Or let's talk about my penis, you fucking weirdo. Man, I wish Kelly would be so awesome right now. No, it wouldn't. Everything would be just about the same. It just wouldn't have worked as well because she wasn't supposed to be that character. But Kamala's husband is Jay. Kamala's vice president was Jay. Like, She was absolutely doing what she's supposed to do. I couldn't care less about the list and the island and all that shit. That's the distraction. That's the stuff you're supposed to pay attention to. I highly suggest you go watch Coop's video, because Coop talks about all the shit you're being distracted from. Namely, that fucker's not dead. You know? Epstein's definitely not dead. But the reason that we point out what these idiots say is because it's all part of it. It's all part of the same shit. Isn't it strange that the only opposition I ever get is that kind of shit? She was doing what she was supposed to do, which is just doing exactly what she's told. Boy, I don't know who you're talking about. Who, Kamala? Yeah. Kamala was definitely just another piece. Like, Kamala, Biden, Trump, Obama. There's nothing different there. Different characters, obviously. You know, different personalities playing the same character. I heard Epstein was on vacation in Israel. Yes. He's clearly alive. There's a video of him alive. Somebody flew a drone over the island one day, and they happened to come across a big black guy on an ATV and another white guy with white hair, short stature, looked just like Epstein. Noticed the drone, jumped on his ATV, sped away, sped into a garage, and was never seen again. Oh. If he's really dead? He's not. He's not. And the like best information, the best explanation. Just look at the video, the photo that just happens to exist. First of all, who took the photo? You know, and Coop found out who took the photo, and tried to talk to the guy. Well, somebody found the guy that took the photo, supposedly, and called him and asked him, and he was like, I don't want to talk about it. They were like, yeah, we're a writer. You know, we want to talk to you about the Epstein photo you took. It's probably the photo of the year. And no, I don't want to talk about it. Click. Like, think about that shit. How did that photo get taken? And then the photo of the dead body, that's clearly not him. Fucking Coop puts forth that it might even be Clinton's brother, something Rodham, who died a few weeks beforehand, who happened to look just like Epstein. Go figure. But of course he's not dead. He's not dead, just like Robert Maxwell wasn't dead. You know, it's crazy because all of these things are, like, each individual thing deserves an hour-long discussion, right? Each individual thing deserves a deep dive because they all point to Israel. It's Israeli. And you can't talk about this shit without acknowledging the J stuff. Because that's what they did. I wonder if I could find that video of Ghislaine. Let's see what Ghislaine said. Well, that was weird. It just disappeared. What's up, dude?
What up, man?
Morning. How are you? Good. He's just chilling,
Right.
letting you do all the work.
Right.
Well, first of all, there's the transcripts were written or were released, and that's some absolute bullshit. Let's see. Yeah, see, it's like it's so hard to actually.
Is it nice to release your inner grouch?
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's actually really hard to find it. I mean, but there's multiple women who have talked about how she would say things like, "Well, we're Jewish, so you're crap," and she would openly talk about that aspect of it. Just was watching this pastor talking about religion, then asked, "How does free will and God's will exist?" He procedure to go on a tirade about how I'm crazy and evil filled with demons. What a geesh. Oh, he proceeded. Morning, Matt. I mean, that's exactly it. How many times? And isn't it crazy how they do that to me? Right? It's the same thing. We're in a war right now, but it's not the same as how it used to be. I think it's a technological thing. It's always been. It's just like how money isn't there for you to have it. Money is there for us not to have it. Religion is there for you to chase. It's there to be your excuse. But you'll never achieve any of it because it's not real. They go delusional when they cannot prove their point. I mean, you've been here for a while now, Matt. Haven't you ever asked yourself why no pastors, preachers, clergy of any kind ever come in here to try to set me straight? Knowing that I do reach, a decent amount of people, that their message could be spread, that they have the potential of changing my mind. I've said it. I'm not completely against religion. It's like a 99.9% thing, but I don't close the door to it. If you can provide me with some sort of piece of anything, then I'm okay. Let's check it out. You tear them a new one. I absolutely would. Right on, North American Adventures. Good to see you. Don't forget to like, share, and sub. Yeah. I mean, look at. Can you imagine? Again, like I need you guys, you real people here, to look at the comment section and ask yourself how that makes sense. How the option is on the table for someone to say, yeah, fuck those pedos, we need to kill them, we need to get rid of this J system, we need to blah, blah, blah. And instead they want to talk about Wendy's and, me and all this other stupid shit. Ask yourself why that is. I don't suggest you pay attention to the nonsense, but acknowledge it, notice it. Ask yourself what the motivation is. They do, they just usually don't have good points. And to be honest, that's a horse to water deal. If a pastor called me bullshit on a live stream and called me out, must have struck a chord. Jesus loves everyone and is the only way to heaven, says the dumbass right afterward. Like, it's such a strange thing. I religious people surprise me. You always hear about how the older you get, the closer you get to God. And it's like the older I've gotten, the smarter I've gotten. And the smarter I've gotten, the more I can't wrap my head around why people believe that shit. Bro, what's the meaning of life? Hint, it's just one word. Live. Live is the meaning of life. I don't think there is a meaning of life. I don't think there's a purpose. I don't, all that stuff is sort of attached to God. And the idea of God and purpose, that's a self-defeating prophecy. If you believe God has a purpose for you, well, you'll never know. So you're always stuck chasing this promise, this purpose that you probably won't achieve. Well, if you are only 100 business, you might get too wired. Rest is near. And this is from another. I don't even know what the fuck you're saying. If you're saying something, you got to make it work. God has a purpose for everyone. Can you imagine again? Somebody is so insecure. Somebody is so, foolish that they have to say something. But because they can't say anything reasonable, it just comes out stupid. It's really a strange thing to be a part of. It's a strange thing to have witnessed my whole life. You can't wrap your head around God, so you don't believe. What kind of God would he be if you could wrap your head around him? A decent one? Like a good one? I can't wrap my head around the need for that shit. What does it give you? What benefit do you have from your belief in God other than you end up supporting pedophiles? Think about how the position you've been put in, right? What do you believe in? People. I believe we need to make life the best life we can make it until we die. That's it. All the other stuff really, to me, doesn't matter. Let's just say I'm wrong, and Christianity is real, and I die, and I find myself up at the pearly gates doing the this is your life kind of bullshit. I'm going to be like, yeah, who gives a fuck about me? You let children get raped. Why the fuck do you constantly let children get raped? Why did you just let a genocide take place? Put it on TV and laugh about it using, colored powder for gender reveals while blowing up bombs and shit. What are you talking about? Supporting pedophiles? Yeah, you're just retarded. That's something a religious person just said to me, right? It just shows you how fake they all are. None of them are real. As soon as you start questioning things and start pointing things out, they immediately start, they go to this deep end because they can't engage. They can't embrace anything. Yes, supporting pedophiles. Religion is all about supporting pedophiles. Do you really think the church would be like when you say pedophile or you hear the word pedophile, if priest doesn't come to your mind within five guesses, three guesses, you're lying. You're just lying. The most associated organization in the world with pedophilia is the organization that should be the least associated with it. And yet it's the most. And it's your blind faith, it's your complacency that makes them, it gives them their power. It allows them to continue raping children knowing they're not going to get in trouble. Man will always let you down. God will never let you down nor forsake you even to the end of the world. Yup, right? Like all those Christians in Palestine right now. God has not let them down at all. The ones that happen to be still alive, who have survived the bombing so far and now live in tents and have to fight for scraps of food given to them by the people that, created the need for them to get food in the first place, to have to be given food. Yep. God never lets you down. All those children constantly raped in the church. God's not letting them down at all, because they must not be praying like your arrogant ass does, right? Because you're fucking arrogant. That's all it ever comes down to. Damn near everything we talk about comes down to arrogance. We did that, not God. Yep. Funny how it works. You know, you'll never see anybody. It's so funny how people, they win the award, whatever it may be. And they're like, first and foremost, I just want to say, nothing's possible without my Lord Savior Jesus Christ. Nobody ever says to them, hey, buddy, that's you. You know, that's free will right there, buddy. You had free will. God had nothing to do with your achievements. Christians never say that shit. They always deny God has something to do with it when it's bad stuff, like raping children, which it doesn't seem to stop or mind. You know, it has this view, if not closer, of children being raped. And it does nothing to stop it. Because people are evil in large numbers, but you try to deny it by saying that there are only small amounts. Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about. No. Rabbis should be thought of before priests if we are going by statistics. I mean, you know, that whole cult is all about pedophilia and child rape. It shares me that I agree with most of what you say. Why? What do you not agree with? What part isn't true? Mark says, you are so lost. He won't leave me nor forsake me, says some arrogant douchebag. Good thing your white parents had sex in the United States, huh? Good thing your grandma liked to take it from the back. Oh, Harold. Yeah, Gertie. Whose pussy is that, Gertrude? Oh, Harold. I'm gonna pull out all over your face, Gertrude. No, come inside me, Harold. Let's make a baby. That was Grammy. That was your Grammy. That was Grams. That was Nana. That was your Nana. That's why you have rights that other people don't have. That's why God doesn't forsake you or leave you. Because Nana took it from the back and got pregnant. Guys, if God exists and had a higher power and doesn't stop the evil, he is the problem. Now, you can put anything on the internet, but you don't have to. True people, and they're proud of it to a point, right? Because if you ask to elaborate on it, that pride goes right out the window, and they start crying and complaining and attacking. You'd think if you believe in something and somebody asks you to elaborate on it, hey, tell me about what you believe, you wouldn't get upset about it. The biggest way to start an actual physical fight is to say to a Christian, you don't think the same thing they think. Everyone has to stand before Jesus and give an account of what he or she has done on earth. Such stupid shit. Like the idea that, okay, I admit it, that's horrible, and there's no responsibility or accountability here on earth. But when they die now, when they die 50, 60, 70 years from now, and in that time they can rape all the children they want, because when they die, then they have to stand before Jesus. What dumbass nonsense. Who cares what happens to anybody? God doesn't promise you nothing. God doesn't promise you nothing. Bad is going to happen to you. Who cares? Who cares happens to anybody? This sounds like a white guy. we have some of the trolls that are here every single day. What is this homosexual talking about? Like, who would even begin that conversation like that? The idea that you're such a insecure child that you think you're like being sneaky. You're so stupid. I will get upset about it. Of course you will, because you're a dumbass. Yeah, because sin is the reason for evil. Let's just put the accountability on other things than ourselves. My God will kick your ass. No, it won't. Your God, Christian God, is a piece of shit, pedo, motherfucker, you know, asshole, doesn't exist, rapes children, watches children being raped, cheap, you know, Jewish bullshit. Any lightning coming down? No, no lightning. Yeah, God's not going to do a damn thing. Jesus wants your heart. Surrender your life, brother, and be baptized. Like, see what I mean? This is what happens when you talk to a Christian. When they can't address any of the things you're saying, you know, the pull cord happens. The parrot starts, rah! Jesus is the way, rah, rah. God loves you, rah. So stupid. This is the judgment where you've ended up. Sure. Do you like Trump? No, I'm not a pedophile. There is accountability on earth. Oh, is there? Oh, rage bait. Rage bait is my favorite thing people say right now. You posted something that tried to bait me into raging. It's not my fault. He rage baited me. He said something I don't like, so I was rage baited. About anything but the celery. It took me a week to get an oven up about diving now. Oh, this guy, he doesn't talk about what I want him to talk about. Oh. There's 9 parts, at least, where I'm talking about submarines. You can easily go find it for yourself and get all the information you need. The thing about submarines is it's just like anything else. If I do start talking about it, you can't have the conversation. You don't know shit about it. Right? But to think like, I'm talking about we should kill pedos, we should eliminate the J control scheme, blah, blah, all these things. And you're like, but I want to talk about submarines. It's really interesting how that seems to work so frequently. I have a question, so why don't you just ask your question? We can't have the convo because he is so much, well, we can't have THW convo because he, no apostrophes, he's so much smarter than us. You are absolutely right. You're right. I am way smarter than you. I appreciate you acknowledging it, though. That's the first step. You know, you could compete. You could educate yourself. You could get smarter yourself, but you won't. Look, the pussy jelly person joined a year ago, has 0 subscribers because that's a real account. That's not Team Jorge. No, that's not Team Jorge. I hope you find you. Look. Another one of these parrot comments, right? I hope you find Jesus. I don't want to have anything to do with that pedo organization. Don't you get it? Your organization is founded by and for pedos. It's a bunch of Jewish nonsense, and I want nothing to do with it. The fact that your knowledge base is that you can repeat some dumb shit you heard a televangelist say at some point, like that says everything. Like, you know that none of these people are real Christians, right? It's really obvious. They're just liars. If you were really a Christian, if you really believed in God and Jesus, and that if you When you die, you either go to heaven or you go to hell. If you really thought that there was a chance that you could burn in hell for all of eternity, forever getting raped by the devil's pitchfork, and he's got his red suit on and his little mustache, and he's like, rape you, because I'm the devil, If you thought there was even the slightest chance that you would burn in hell for all of eternity, you would do everything in your power to not let that happen. And if there was a rule book that was given to you, you would know that thing inside and out, front to back, to make sure you never fucking burned in hell for all of eternity. You wouldn't have tattoos. You wouldn't have had sex before you were married. Or sex for anything other than procreation, means. You probably wouldn't differentiate between the Old Testament and the New Testament. You would probably just be like, well, it's all good, just in case. But the fact is, literally none of you know it. Literally none of you. Not a single one of you that claim to be Christian know anything about what you're talking about. We have been far too lenient on sandbox commandos and need to end. Someone touches my kid, I ain't waiting for the law. You shouldn't. Our Lord is not a pedo. Yes, your Lord is. Your Lord watches children get raped every fucking day and does nothing about it. Sitting there eating its popcorn. Ooh, that one looks like it hurts. Oh, that kid's crying. Somebody should do something about that. Your God is nothing. Donald Trump isn't Christian. Of course he's not. He's not there. He's a Jew. He actually converted a long time ago. They've just hidden it from you. Some people are so delusional they don't believe 2 + 2 always 4. I mean, it's not when you look at it like from the mathematical perspective, blah, blah. Wow. I feel like we could have an excellent convo. What's your opinion on Israel and why do you hate them as much as me? Because I'm not a piece of shit and I'm not stupid. I mean, they are a cult. They are a pedophilic, supremacist cult. And it starts at birth, 8 days after birth with them. They have their Brit Milah with the Matitza Bapé. Like, these people are fucking awful. You have a 90s cartoon concept of hell, bud. Oh, then what is it then, Mr. Know-It-All? Come on, tell me what hell is. Because you know. You are deceived. Again, look at this shit. So instead of telling me what I'm deceived on, we're just going to say blanket statements. Please be honest, it's not the vile acts by religious leaders. You just hate them for their conservative views. Tell the truth, don't pontificate. I hate them for their conservative views. No, it's the rape part. That rape part really has a big, big thing for me. And then the covering up of the rape. The slavery, the supremacy. Yeah, no, it's funny. I don't seem to have a problem expressing myself or saying what I mean. And yet people keep trying to, avoid what's being said to come up with their own thing so they can argue it. And that's what people do, like in everyday life. When somebody can't actually argue what you're saying, they'll create the argument. Oh, so what you're saying is? No, I said what I said. But this is what they do. The image people have of the devil is the angel Apollyon who dropped Satan into the lake. Oh my God, it's all so stupid. So if you believe, look everybody, the grammar police. Look, if you're gonna come on here trying to act like you're smarter than me, you better be able to get regular words right. You know, basic shit that my kids have to get right so they don't get in trouble. Like these are basic spelling mistakes. But if you believe in prayer, if you believe it works even a little bit, and the funny thing is, though you believe in prayer, you believe you actually can talk to the God of the universe. Makes everything happen. Gives all the babies AIDS, you know, makes all the car accidents and then protects the ones that it wants to. Makes the earthquakes happen that kill the people. Makes all the wars happen and shit. And if you don't think God has something to do with the wars, you should ask Israel what they're doing, because they'll disagree with you. But you believe that the God of all that shit, all the AIDS babies, stops what it's doing to pay attention to you. Oh wait, what did little Billy want? What did little Timmy want? What did Susie want? Although God doesn't answer prayers, God answers tithing. You believe that you can actually get the God of the universe to change its plan. It was planning on giving the job to that guy that has 4 kids at home and is struggling and is about to get kicked out. Definitely needs this. The kids are, you know. But he was only able to give $20. You gave $50. So God's going to give you the job. But if you believe God hears your arrogant fucking prayers, don't waste that shit on me. Definitely don't waste that shit on me. If you believe God actually listens to your arrogant ass, then pray that God stops all of the child rape just in the church. We'll worry about everywhere else after that. Let the church be the beacon, and then everything falls in line after that, because the church is the authority and blah, blah, blah. Just ask your God, demand your God to stop all the rape in the church. Let's see how that works out. Every time you read the Bible, it reveals something different. It's funny how all of these people are such believers, but they can't actually say anything that matters. They can't point to something in the Bible that matters. They can't point to a verse that explains what's going on. They have no concept of in real life, and they said all forms matter, so 2 plus 2. It's the truth. Where the blame belongs is on the goil. Take your mask off, buddy. You really hate someone you claim doesn't exist. You claim, I speak properly, so I accidentally say it properly. Sorry. You really hate someone you claim don't exist. No, I don't hate God, you fucking clown. See what I mean? They make up arguments to fit so they can argue it. Because if I did hate something I didn't think existed, then, well, I guess I think it exists if I hate it. Like, they would have a leg to stand on. They would have an argument if what they said was true. So they tried their best to force that out there so that they have something to argue. But just like God, it has nothing to do with God. God is an abstract nothing. God doesn't exist. Unlike God, Trump exists, but it's not Trump. Trump isn't the problem. It's the Trump supporters that are the problem. It's the nameless, faceless nobodies. How much overthinking is required for that? Yeah, it's just distraction, dude. Anything to distract you. Bitch. Where do you get the idea that the God you don't believe in is watching evil? See, again, it's like these people are so stupid, their stupidity overrides their ability to have a decent conversation, make it make sense. The point is, if your God exists, which it doesn't, but if it does, then it's watching all of the where at all times and watching everything. Remember, God is everything. God is blah blah blah. So if your God exists, which it doesn't, then by your account, it's watching everything that's happening. How come the Menendez brothers didn't get paroled? Because their dad is Jewish and they killed a Jewish guy? And that's supposed to be like the, that's supposed to be the warning. The Menendez brothers should absolutely be free. They should have never been in prison. They were victims and did the heroic thing of killing the pedo. Their father was another pedo. High-ranking, powerful pedo who absolutely raped them, according to lots of family, and there's so much more to the situation than most people realize. But that then sets the precedent. If we're saying that they can kill pedos and get away with it, well, why can't we? Remember, people, don't throw your pearls among the swine. Think about how stupid you have to be able, that's all you can come up with. That's your best. This guy is talking about too many facts, so I'm gonna remember, people, pearls, fucking stupid. It's an evil story. I'm glad it's just a story. Yeah, it's horrible. It's a horrible horror. It's not even well written. You would never read the Bible just for pleasure. Oh, here's a great book. Here, read this one. This one's really, really good. And the best part is, one of these things that always gets ignored, the Bible's all Jewish. Everyone in the Bible is Jewish. All the characters are Jewish. All the stories are Jewish. And they talk about Gentiles as a separate group of people. Those Gentiles over there. Not us Gentiles. Not only does the book tell you as a Christian you're second class, you're just a slave, it's not for you. None of the story, even your Jesus was a Jew. This is a Jewish fairy tale. It has nothing to do with you. You're living, dumbass says. Y-O-U-R, living it, buddy. This person is so stupid, they can't get their yours right. I don't avoid shit. I don't like double talk. Just be honest about intentions. Oh, I care about what you want. You can read the universe's cards. You cannot tell the universe the cards. Okay. Oh, I gladly forget he has kids, but then I'm reminded he has kids, yet believe in God. Yet I'm reminded he has kids, yet y'all believe in God. He abandoned us then. Yep. Because I have kids. I think that's the pot speaking. Look you're just coming up with whatever you can come up with, right? And from what I see here is you blaming others for what you do. Yes, I'm blaming others for all of my genocide. I support, I champion, I talk about it incessantly, that we should kill pedos because I am one, because that makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. He'll ignore anyone who has a decent rebuttal. LOL. Yep. Point out a decent rebuttal here. Everybody has the right to opinions here in the United States, except if you criticize Israel. Ridiculous. Exactly. People should be paying attention to that shit. Dude, I'm not a holy roller. The God created the universe, and there's a story about Satan. All we know is there's good and evil on earth. Good and evil. He does not create bad. Right. Because everything bad happens because God's standing there looking down and everything. And the devil pops up behind him and starts fucking with shit. And he turns around real quick. And the devil gets behind him. And he turns around real quick. And the devil gets behind him. And he turns around real quick. Because that's what's happening, right? Just keep being a negative Nancy. Yep, I'm being a negative Nancy. Because I think we should kill pedos. and stop the slavery/genocide. Gotcha. You seem to think everyone thinks how you created in your mind that they think. What? Yeah, no, I base how I think of you off of your presentation, you dumbass. That sentence doesn't make sense. Exactly. And God gonna help your phone connection. Nope. Well, maybe, you know what? Maybe if some of you pray about it, it will work. And while you're at it, pray that God gives you better answers. Nobody is Team Mayans, so I'm choosing that team today for, yeah, okay. Short season is real. Don't be asleep. Oh, okay. Why? Because my lunch break says so? It's so funny to me how people think like, again, it's just arrogance. It's just arrogance. My lunch break is a prime example of it. I really like that guy's channel. I think he does great things. But at the end of the day, he's just another dumb, arrogant Christian. Because I can guarantee every single person on here that claims to be Christian, they have no idea why they're Christian. If you ask them, why are you Christian? What reason do you have to accept this bullshit over all of the other bullshits presented? They don't know. Not one of these fucking idiots can be like, yeah, well, I debunked Hinduism and Buddhism and Scientology and Islam and Judaism and yeah, I'm from Africa somewhere and, you know, Ping Tao, you know, whatever Chinese bullshit, you know. You've debunked all of those other things, Mormons and Jesuits, and you've debunked it all. But when it comes to Christianity, you were like, I tried. I tried to debunk it and I just couldn't, right? That's how that works. I know. The good Lord came to me when I was in prison. That's usually how it goes. That's usually how it goes. People who feel guilty about what they've done and can't get over that guilt have to create this God bullshit so they can feel better about themselves. Oh, Jesus, it's fucking insane. I know without a shadow of a doubt that Jesus is Lord, says the guy from prison. Yeah, based on what? Again, you notice how these guys just double down. Like you absolutely present them with the argument. You can't prove that your shit is real. Why do you choose this one over that one? And they go, well, I without a shadow of a doubt, I know it. I know Jesus came to me. Jesus came to you in prison. The piece of shit prisoner Jesus came to. Never mind all the Christians in Palestine that have bombs dropped on them daily. Jesus isn't coming to them. Jesus isn't coming to Netanyahu to be like, stop what you're doing, Netanyahu. I am Jesus. I know you don't really believe in me, but I'm real. You need to stop what you're doing. Funny how that happens. Funny how the Catholic Church, which is what you all are, because you're all Catholics, you just don't like it. The church is completely silent about what's going on. The only time I've heard the church speak up is when they were condemning the October 7th attacks. The false flag where no Israelis died or were taken hostage, you know, October 7th, false flag. Most people have not woke up and realized that we are the real people of the biblical story itself. Like, we have the greatest, longest running story in history told over and over again. We are not, no, the Bible's just not real. It's just not real. My own decisions and intuition is my God. Sure. Sheeple just LOL. We are the original ASE. Again, it's like it's arrogance. It's just so much arrogance. Because no other God manufactured by man says that his word is the light, that everything in the universe is relative to. Oh, no other God says that? I don't remember the universe being mentioned in the Bible. But because somebody says that, so that's like when the people who claim themselves to be God's chosen people justify their atrocities by saying it's because they're God's chosen people. You go, well, they said it, so it must be true, dude. I was literally in prison for stabbing my husband, and I felt so bad. I was really remorseful, and Jesus came to me. Obviously, so you're a female, right? So as a female, you have no fucking business talking to me right now. You know how you know you're not a Christian? You know how you know you don't believe in it? Because of 1 Timothy 2:12. 1 Timothy 2:12 says you need to shut the fuck up. I am a man, and as a man, I am better than you. God does not permit you to teach or have authority over a man. You are to keep silent. But you don't like that part. And the light was made flesh and dwelt among us. Yeah, that's what it says. Where? Where does it say that? He chases the lost sheep, not the ones that are already committed. Well, and not the ones that question things, right? Right? Because if you question things, there's no answers for you. You have to believe in it, but be lost? I mean, what kind of stupid shit is that? To be perfectly honest with you, you will not believe until God removes the scales from your so why doesn't God do that? What's God waiting for? If I'm not going to believe it until God does this thing, well, then what's God waiting for? Me to believe it? Religion is what you're talking about, which takes away from people's accountability to spirituality. Let you remain accountable for your actions. Spiritual, it's all bullshit. It's all just bullshit. That being said, Jesus is Lord. Sure. He says, every man, woman, and child will die and experience death in their dying. So, because God said everything will die, that means it's true. People didn't think that beforehand. People thought that they would live forever until God told them they would die. You stupid, stupid ass. He came in the sense that they can be forgiven for their sins committed, right? Because we're all born sinful. All those beautiful little innocent fucking newborns, they're all so sinful. It's just so stupid, man. It's so hard to even engage this conversation because it's not like anybody says anything of merit. And at the end of the day, what could you possibly say? How could you make your fucking fairy tale make sense? If you could, you would have done it by now. If you had some sort of powerful, truthful statement, you would have said it. There is no condemnation in the body of the only begotten. Jesus, so stupid. Can't knock a mofo for changing for the better. Well, yeah, you can. Because if they're not doing it for the best reasons, then they're either being manipulated, duped, or they're foolish. Why do you feel bad if there is no God? Why do I feel bad if there is no God? Again, how are people that stupid? Like, can you imagine this person is so desperate to come up with something that they say that dumb shit? How do you feel bad if there's no God? You need a God to make you feel bad? Those are the people that scare me the most, right? Those are the people I don't want to live near. I don't even want to be around them. Because apparently once they have the realization that there is no God, they're going to go on a killing spree. If you are, but the beast that stood and walked his man, why do you feel bad in your consuming? What? What the fuck does that even mean? It takes the Lord to reveal himself to you through the pages of the scripture. Yeah, which pages? I love how Christians always act like you don't believe it because you just haven't read it yet. If you read it, oh boy, then there's no way you can't believe it. It's even worse if you read it. It's the dumbest fucking book. Because the living God is in covenant with life. The living and his word is the light that all things are relative to. Like, what is this person even talking about at this point? They're just making up their own scripture bullshit. Well, if I just say it in a really stupid way, and that'll people will think it's some sort of scripture. Look up, we prove that the Bible is real, but just the Old Testament, not the New Testament. The Old Testament is historical records never. No, the Old Testament, which is Exodus, which is the key to Judaism. You can't have Judaism without Exodus. Is the it's hard to say which of the Bible stories is the dumbest, but Exodus is pretty much up there, right? I mean, obviously the Noah's Ark bullshit, the Sodom and Gomorrah bullshit, like these are dumb, horrible stories, but nothing is as dumb as Exodus, and Exodus is essential to Judaism. But there's not a reasonable, thinking, intelligent human being that looks at the Exodus narrative and thinks it's real. You can't. You're not that stupid. Unless he reveal himself to you, you will not be able to see. Well, so what's the Lord waiting for? Why isn't the Lord revealing himself to me? Such stupid nonsense. The living God does not dwell in churches, mate. Right, you know better. The church that tells you these things, they don't have it right. Your arrogant ass does. It doesn't even connect. They have made it connect for manipulation purposes. Oh, it's terrible. The Exodus story is terribly stupid, and it totally encapsulates the problem. You know, the idea that this arrogant cult demands the Semitism that is the policy and predisposition favorable to Jews. Like it's all just shocking. You need your own road to Damascus to knock you off your high horse. Yep, that's what I need. The living God who wrote on the universe like a scroll and wrote on it with his word. Where is this person even getting this shit from? Okay, my point got messed up. I assume these commenters cannot disprove it. Of course not. Well, wait, let's see. I'll find your comment. God isn't responsible for me. That's free will. Otherwise, how could God judge you if it's his will? Free will is stupid. It's all just stupid. You ain't got nothing else to talk about? What would you prefer I talk about? I love when people do that. They come to my page. They could go to, like, literally, you have to realize, like, all the clowns on here, they could literally be doing anything else. They could be at church. You know? They could be doing a Saturday Mass. They could literally just be sitting there praying. Instead, they're here proving my point and making everything about religion look as dumb as possible. You just haven't witnessed your own miracles, and you're not going to. You keep up that attitude. Oh, please, by all means, arrogant piece of shit, tell me about the miracles you've experienced, you arrogant shit face. Yeah, I'm still overweight. Yes, I am super overweight. Look at that. Look how fat I am. Super overweight. What a great debate. Free will is stupid. Yes, it is. It's stupid. We have free will within the realm of cause and effect. Sure we do. Wage up for page rate talking about you broke trying to come up on YouTube. We jump from page to page, talking about you broke trying to come up on YouTube, folks. Oh, you are awesome. I wish I was more like you. Free will is dumb. I thought God's will was unfeasible. I'm just making free will is dumb because it's a religious concept. It's free will. I have free will. Are you kidding me? It's all stupid. Everything that has to do with that is stupid. He won't answer anyone. He's full of demons. There you go. I won't answer anyone. I'm not answering anyone. I'm ignoring the page that's been a subscriber for 5 months and been joined on YouTube for 5 months and has 0 subscribers, comes here every day and does crybaby shit because I won't answer anyone. Spirituality is unrestricted freedom to align oneself with the laws of our universe. Yeah, what universe are you talking about? You know, the people that provide you with the universe narrative all probably believe in God or you know, some sort of religious point of view. Now you can locate me. Oh, look, you can locate me. Oh. Because again, I'm saying stuff you don't like, so you're gonna locate me. What kind of fucking dumbass are you? I'm trying to get his location. Let's see. And that is 3 years ago, 8 subscribers. Well, that's a little better than usual. Nobody can argue with pure logic. Well, they can. They just won't be successful. They'll be fucking stupid. Oh, you don't think I can block that guy? Well, let's try it. There you go. Can I finally pull up and get my 20 for the fentanyl? Yup, because you're selling $20 fentanyl. Hang all the pedos. No, I don't believe so. Right? I don't think we should hang them. I think we need a program that is progressive and you know, feeds more than one bird with one seed. You know, I think we should set up a program where people acknowledge that they are those people. I mean, those people exist in our society. People who kill, who rape, who torture, those people exist in our society. And they exist in the shadows. It's secret. And because they have to be this secret, shadowy figure, you know, they end up hurting innocent people. But if we created a program where if you acknowledge that you are one of these people that has these kinds of thoughts, you get to go on the list. And as long as you don't violate the rules, whenever one of these pedos gets caught, we give them to you. And you could, you know, hands up, you can do whatever you want. You want to keep them alive by feeding them a, you know, crust of bread and a cup of water every day while you rape them consistently throughout the day? Good for you. Go for it. Do it. I'd much rather you do it to some piece of shit like that than the child or the random victim that you're undoubtedly going to come across. So not only do we create a situation where the pedos, the rapists, know there are true consequences instead of the slaps on the wrist they usually get, but we also handle those people who, you know, victimize people. We say, look, we're gonna try to benefit everyone in this situation. You know, I don't have that in me. I couldn't be one of those people. But I know there are plenty of those people out there. And I'd rather put them to good use than... Yeah, it's called the death penalty, right? because pedos are known for getting the death penalty. And what we should do is keep them in prison for years and years and years, paying for their lives until some arbitrary, probably sacrificial date, some kind of bullshit that we finally, take care of it.
Ew. Look at your tea.
Something pooped in it again? Oh, poor bee. Wow, 2 bees.
Yep.
2 bees or not 2 bees. Here. Thank you. Why don't you start the program instead of why don't you stop whining like a little girl and go be the change? Yes, I'm going to start the program. All of my official government connections that can change laws and make things legal or illegal, I am starting this program. So all of you disgusting pieces of shit pedos, tell me who you are and we'll go from there. The pedos may be the most protected class that are in everywhere as leaders in government and church industry. Exactly. Exactly. The fact that our laws need to be changed in the first place should tell you something. Right? Because nobody thinks that pedos should, be given a second chance. Nobody thinks that pedos should be allowed to go, have 18 months, 36 months in prison, whatever, where they're surrounded by other pedos. Think about that movie Blow, remember? When Boston George goes to, he says he went into prison with a bachelor's in marijuana and came out with a master's in heroin and cocaine. That's what prison does. So you send these pieces of shit to a protected wing of the prison where they're not in Gen Pop, where they're not allowed to have, the justice that should come to them. They learn how to do their trade better, and then they move out and they come live in your neighborhood. You think that's a better thing than we should just kill them? We should get rid of them? Mankind cannot create laws like how Isaac Newton did not create gravity. Isaac Newton didn't create gravity. Gravity's fake. It's not a real thing. But yes, we can make laws. We absolutely can make the laws. You got government connections. Are you an agent? An agent? IDK, when I watch pred catching videos, all cops are tards and seem to don't... Not all of them, but most of them. Most of them don't seem to give a shit or act like the catcher is the problem. But what people don't understand, they're not grasping when they watch those videos. I mean, I could probably name off 10 of them on YouTube alone. I don't, there's all sorts of different platforms that these guys exist on. But just on YouTube, I could think of at least 10. And you can, you watch guys like Takedown with Chris Hansen where he goes to Genesee County for 3 days or whatever, and they catch 45 people, 30 people, whatever. They're catching multiples every day. Sometimes they catch them so fast they have to end the interview because the next one is showing up. And these are just the people that have enough of a compulsion that they'll act on it. The vast majority of the pedos out there don't actually act on it. They're too scared. They're too cowardly. Good, thankfully, but they're too worried about getting caught. And so when you see see the behind the scenes for any of these guys, as soon as they post the picture of the younger looking girl or boy with a name like, Susie 2014 or Susie 2012 or Jimmy, 2013, whatever. As soon as that shit goes up, blink, 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 blink. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? And nobody is just reaching out to what they think is a teenager to talk. Every single person that reaches out to this person, well, it says they're 18. Yeah, look at the picture. Look at the name that clearly tells you it's not. Even if you reach out with this, oh, I was just trying to talk. No, you didn't. You're a sick motherfucker. You have no reason to be talking to a teenager. If you look up the thing in your neighborhood where you live, there'll be multiple houses that are lit up. You look up the registry in your neighborhood, multiple houses. And those are just the people who get caught. You know, those are just the people who have the compulsion and get caught. That's like 1% of the people that hit up Pop Squad, DAP, Dads Against Predators, Creep Catchers, you fucking name it. Take that. 1%, if that, get caught. The other 99%, more than likely, have some search history they wouldn't want you to see. Have some special folder on their phone, or a fake app on their phone, or a fake app on their phone, or a special folder on their computer or something. Most of them are Trump supporters. I know every time I see Gordon Flowers catch somebody, Trump supporter. He's a Trump supporter. He's a piece of shit Jay though, but he does good work, so. But what people don't understand is if you go out in your front yard and you just look up and down your street, probably half of the people have some sort of, imagery or child exploitation materials on their phone, on their computer, something. And they might, tell themselves, well, because they don't act on it, they're not as bad. All they do is watch videos or look at pictures. Yeah, you're just as bad. It's been reported on and covered and still nothing. I mean, the church has been raping children since the beginning. Deport this guy. This guy is talking about we should kill pedos. Do you see this? Who are these people? It's the same people that can still support Trump after everything that's gone on. It's you Trump supporters. The people that were like, yay, he represents me because he's a sexist and a racist and a homophobic. And by supporting Trump, I'm essentially supporting those things, because it's not like it's his policies and shit that you support. It's not like he lives up to his promises. How you guys liking those gas and food prices that we're going to get cut in half? What about ending all the war with one phone call? 24 hours. Releasing all the fines, or the files. Draining the swamp. He doesn't do what he says. None of them do. They're all bullshit. They're all bullshit. It's all just bullshit actors. Look, the pedophile Mike has been watching this for the whole time. Right? They were weird before Trump, yeah, but now they have a representative. Bro, you look like you voted for Kamala. Right, because people look like something that voted for something. What a dumbass. But see, again, this is just dumbassery taking over, right? This dumbass is saying, well, I was dumb enough to fall for it and pick a side. And you're saying you didn't pick the same side I pick, so you must be dumb enough to fall for the other side. Duh. It's just stupid. Stupid fucking people, man. They make the argument so much easier because they're not smart enough to engage. And really, what could they say? What arguments could anyone make against me? Don't you think if they could, they would? After everything that's been said so far and all that shit, don't you think if they had something reasonable, some sort of, nail in the coffin kind of argument, they would make it? Why wouldn't they? Why would they continue? You're Y-O-U-R crazy, and you can't argue with crazy. Y-O-U-R crazy. Yep. Look at this shit. I knew he voted for her. Look at how, again, stupidity. Like, this is what you can't argue with. It's just flat stupidity. They just hear and say what they want to hear and say. I haven't been dumb enough to vote for anybody in my life because I'm not stupid. But, it's these same people that believe their vote counts and shit, but ignore 2016 when Trump lost the election by 2,700,000 votes. 2.7 million more people voted for Hillary than they did Donald. And that swamp, that APAC swamp that Trump said he was going to drain, put him in office anyway. Even though the threat of being drained was there, that swamp stuck him in office anyway. It's fucking, have a pedo flag flyer. Pedo flag flyer. If you fly the pedo flag, you get removed. Look at how fucking crazy. Shaking my head. Delusion is real, yeah. I didn't vote for the either side, dumbass. Duh. Duh. This is the guy who's talking about voting. Oh, they're so stupid. You just make it so easy. You fucking Trump supporting pedophile pieces of shit. You make it too easy. But that's the thing. It's supposed to be easy. That's what I mean. The whole idea of the list. Trump is who he is. It's like George Bush Jr., right? If Obama or somebody that we deemed to be intelligent was in office during 9/11 and the subsequent years that happened, the response to it, nobody would have, it wouldn't have been as acceptable. But because we had one of the openly, the dumbest characters ever presented to us as president, I don't think he was really dumb, but I think his character was said to be dumb. People thought he was too dumb to have masterminded things. People thought he was too dumb to be a part of this big conspiracy. And that's what they do, right? That's how it works. And it's funny how people forget Trump lost in 2000 as well. He actually lost 2 out of 3 times. It's crazy, man. It really is crazy. Amanda, wow, we have a female profile that's talking about Trump. What a dumb broad that has to be. If it's a real person, which it's not. 3 years ago, 1 subscriber. Yep, that's a real person. But see, you see this shit where it's like, again, because they can't answer for or engage in anything, they just start saying dumb shit. But, one thing we need to realize is that females are pedos too. It's not nearly as widely talked about or anything, but they are absolutely pedos as well. And as a female, what could she possibly support about Trump other than, they stick together? At this point, Trump is at the very, very least guilty of covering up a pedophile organization, covering for a pedo, being associated with a group of pedos, saying really, really horrible shit. Like when Robin asked him, they were on Howard, and he was bragging about how he had, at 60 years old, he had no problem banging 24-year-olds. Robin asked him if he had a limit. He said, no. Well, I mean, I wouldn't want to be caught fooling around with a 12-year-old. Like, that's a fucking reasonable response to that question? You're right. My girlfriend voted for Trump, and she regretted it. I think he fooled everyone at the right time. Yeah, but how? People say that shit, but what did he say that fooled people? Trump's been associated with Epstein the whole fucking time. Trump did not win the first election. He lost. But for the third time in modern history, the first two being when George Bush Jr. won, the Electoral College had to step in and correct the thing, because I guess we didn't pick the right guy, so. For some reason, the Electoral College stepped in then. Didn't do it any other time, but then. I think Orange Man is finally losing steam and falling out of favor by his cult. Yeah, but does that even really matter? All that means is the cult is still ripe for the picking. Like, it would be one thing if all the steam he's losing realized, like, holy shit, I've been duped and I need to change my whole perspective, and how did I fall for this in the first place? But that's not how it works. You know, Trump was the representation of racism, sexism, and homophobia this whole time. If you supported Trump, you supported those things. My homie. Well, here, let's help you out, Billy Bob. You want to join him? I didn't vote for him. IDK what she was thinking. No, I know, but you made the excuse for her, right? You said she voted for him, but regretted it. But what did she vote for? It's a really interesting thing. Like, what was it? Especially by 2020 or 2024. I mean, if you voted for him in the 2020 election, based on what? You know what Trump supporters love to forget? Trump's the one that locked everyone down. Cost everyone their businesses, their loved ones that they weren't allowed to go see. Trump was the president during the COVID bullshit. And COVID was to cover up Katie Johnson, Epstein, and all the shit that was coming out that you didn't know was happening. On March 2nd, 2020, Trump was scheduled for a meeting, it's either March or May, an examination where, you know, because of the charges levied against him, he needed to have a physical examination, have his fluids taken, and for DNA, and all. Like, this was all scheduled. He was set to do it. But then COVID, boom, 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 boom. The Katie Johnson story is only like, it only didn't go through because Katie Johnson's people pulled out. Because they were scared. They were getting death threats and they were getting harassed so much that she said, look, nobody's protecting me. This isn't even a story in the news. I'm really scared. We're getting threats. We're just going to have to pull out. I don't want to do this anymore. This was very credible. COVID was to cover up the whole... It wasn't even a cover... Epstein is the connection to Israel. And if COVID wouldn't have been there, while this Prince Andrew like, I didn't sweat at the time. Wait, yes, I didn't sweat at the time because of an incident that I had experienced. And you know it's all bullshit because the reporter just went along with it. Oh, okay. It's not like we can easily find pictures of you at the same time all sweaty. It's not like the idea that you were involved in a shooting at one point, so now you don't sweat, is possible. It's not even possible. It's not physically possible. And yet the reporter was just like, well, yeah, okay. Look at this shit. Look at this dumb shit. Love from Canada. Let's go, Canada. Stay strong, America. Once it's safe to travel, I'll be in the U.S. Man, it's nuts. It's nuts. Look at all this shit, man. Look at these dumb comments. I bet this guy loves cheese pizza. Who doesn't like pizza? Now, these are some fucking weird things for people to be saying. Sorry, but your cheese pizza comment, that's going to get you kicked off real quick. Why do you think somebody brought up cheese pizza? Again, all of this shit is to distract us from... I mean, I hate even saying Israel because Israel isn't even a thing. Israel is just a name of a place. You know? It's Israel because they call it Israel and we agree to it. But it's the cult. The problem is the cult. And until we realize, like, it's the cult that controls everything. The reason you believe in your dumbass Jesus is because the cult told you to. The cult was, of course they did. Because your belief in Jesus makes them, the cult, your God's chosen people. You know? Man, I really want to start blinding people. Joined 2 days ago with 1 subscriber. Some dumb broad says, I ate the shit out of some fresh pizza. That's fucking disgusting. That is fucking disgusting. All right, well, if the guy that keeps repeating it's because he knows. So, later. Why do you think these guys are bringing up cheese pizza? Do you guys know about that shit? How could you be in my circle and not know about the whole Pizzagate shit? This shit is real. It's fucking real. You know? It's just as ridiculous on here. Yeah. You know, it's disgusting how brazen they are. Leave them on here so they can be tracked down. Is that what you think? But they won't be tracked down. But you're right. But see, I know how that works, right? So what they do is they come to truther feeds. They have it agreed upon on the dark web bullshit that it's agreed upon that they all meet on truther feeds because nobody believes the truthers anyway. And what they do is they say the code words. And when they say the code words, the people watching know to then reach out to that profile. They reach out to the profile and they say, they say some sort of code to them just to make sure. And if they respond the right way, now they can have an open dialogue and they don't have to use the dark web and all that. They can basically shop out in the open. Yeah, you could find pedos. If you could, you would. If you're curious, Google Pizzagate. Google Franklin cover-up, which is the original Pizzagate. Or at least Pizzagate before this. I can't say it's the original Pizzagate. But it's, as far as scandals go, it's the original Pizzagate scandal. The Franklin cover-up is the exact same thing. And for those that always say, well, why didn't somebody say something? Former head of the FBI, former FBI director Ted Gunderson exposed all of this. And I don't know what kind of conspiracy theorist you say he was. He was a former FBI director. Do I know the codes? No, of course not. I mean, the Pizzagate codes were established a while ago through the president and the leak of the Pizzagate documents. And after that, what they needed to do, because they couldn't just go on feeds and do the cheese pizza thing, they would have been exposed a hell of a lot easier back then. They came up with a new set of codes. The whole couch thing that came out of nowhere for a long time, actually it was a short time. And I will to this day take credit for its demise, because I believe I'm the one that broke the code. There were a few different things that they were using, couch being one of them, couch being the one that initiated the conversation. If they mentioned the couch, then somebody knew to reach out to them. And I exposed that shit, and it went away. It absolutely went away after I exposed it. And I'll take a hell of a lot of pride in that. Look, we own both sides. You do, I'm sure. That's why, you can't trust anybody on here. That's why they get away with it all. The Pizzagate thing should have been a huge investigation. There was way more than enough to warrant the investigation. Especially when you consider how much money gets spent on like the biological life cycles of snails and shit. Yep, see? Joined 10 months ago, no subscribers. Sorry, I know the idea of leave them so they can be tracked down, but not interested. Not many know about Yu-Gi-Oh! Secret Group, especially Pegasus. Project Pegasus, the Pegasus software. The Pegasus software is an Israeli thing, just like the Promise software. The Pegasus software, developed by Israel, allowed any government agency that used it the ability to go into any electric devices that we own, whether they're on or not, and pull out whatever they need to pull out from them. It was a way to control this and that. And, as always, if Israel provides the software, it gives Israel the back door into whoever uses it. Why do people watch this crap? That says a lot about the state of this country, then says release the files. What a dumbass. Oh yeah, I did want to look up Palantir. Thanks for the reminder. Like, look at these fucking weird ass people. I think you need to go, man. You're saying too much there, Slappy. It was every iPhone. I'm sure it's more than just every iPhone. Maybe the narrative was every iPhone. But then there's the Project Nimbus. Nobody talks about Project Nimbus. Project Nimbus is Google and Amazon have an exclusive contract with Israel, with the Israeli system, the military, that allows Israel to use Google and Amazon's network for whatever reason. And part of the stipulations. Well, what? What is? Everything Israel? Yes, ma'am. It allows them to use Google and Amazon for, they don't really express how. They did brag at one point that it did help them with, winning. And it goes against the Google and Amazon, like, stated, mission statement of not having their technology used to harm people, blah, blah, blah. It's like a multi-billion-dollar contract. Why does Israel need access to Google and Amazon? Why does the Israeli military? And part of the stipulation is anyone in the military can use it, and Google and Amazon aren't allowed to say anything. If they do use it inappropriately, Google and Amazon aren't allowed to do anything about it. Well, you just said I'm a bot magnet. So let's expose what the bots are, right? So first and foremost, we have to talk about Naftali Bennett, who is currently a former Israeli prime minister. He was prime minister. He was one of the 6 prime ministers that Israel had between 2019 and 2022, when it was Netanyahu, then it was Benny Gantz, then it was Netanyahu, then it was Naftali Bennett from June of 2021 to June of 2022. Then Naftali Bennett, in an unprecedented move, just steps down. There's no reason given. He just steps down and becomes like the, dark prime minister or whatever. Like, he was still doing things behind the scenes, but he had stepped down as the face. And Israel has a prime minister and a president, so what? But when Naftali Bennett stepped down, Yair Lapid took over until November, when they put Netanyahu back in charge in a way that he can't be removed. And Netanyahu came with Bezalel Smotrich, Itamar Ben-Gvir, Avi Moaz, these war criminals, in this open coalition that ran on the platform that they were going to retake Gaza. Nothing is new about this. This is no surprise. They bragged up and down that they were going to retake Gaza. And it just so happened that 8 days after the United States put Israel into the visa waiver program, they didn't meet the requirements necessary to be in the visa waiver program, the exclusive visa waiver program, which made it so Israelis could travel to and from the United States without having visa issues. 8 days after that, the October 7th false flag happens, where no Israelis were killed and no Israelis were taken hostage. But Naftali Bennett, back in 2010, talking to IsraelNationalNews.com, said this.
Moetzet Yesha, in conjunction with My Israel, has arranged instruction day for wiki editors. The goal of the day is to teach people how to edit in Wikipedia, which is the #1 source of information today in the world. As a way of example, if someone searches the Gaza flotilla, we want to be there. We want to be the guys who influence what is written there, how it's written, and to ensure that it's balanced and Zionist in nature.
I came here to learn.
Okay. So that is a future and now former Prime Minister of Israel bragging about how Israel controls Wikipedia, quote, the #1 source of information in the world. And that even though they were the #1 source of information in the world at the time, Israel had to come in to teach the editors how to do their job, because apparently they didn't know how to edit in Wikipedia. At least to edit so it has a balanced, so it's balanced and Zionist in nature. He even tells you to look up the introduction of Ken O'Keefe. Hey, go check out the Gaza flotilla, where Israel, it was a Greta Thunberg situation where, because this whole thing isn't new. And back in 2010, a flotilla, a large group, a group of like 7 ships, I believe, 7 like river ferry boat ships, big fucking yachts, tried to bring aid, food, medicine, whatnot into Gaza. And at like 4 in the morning, 3, 4 in the morning, this is how Israel operates, in international waters, the Israelis attacked the flotilla. And they were supposedly boarding one of the ships when Ken O'Keefe started fighting back, which ended up leading to 9 of the activists being killed, 6 of which were later found to have been shot execution style, so on their knees, shot in the head. But they did let Ken O'Keefe go. And when they were in prison, or when the outrage came from it, and they were in court over it, Israel was let off because Israel has the right to defend themselves. And the Israelis were just defending themselves from those mean people who wouldn't let them commandeer the ship. You know? Yeah, they were coming on board a ship. They weren't invited to come on board, but they had no business fighting back or resisting at all, because that means Israel then has the right to defend itself and kill 6 people execution style. That's Naftali Bennett. He literally told you to go check out the Ken O'Keefe introduction. Because Ken O'Keefe is an agent. Ken O'Keefe is designed to push things in one way. You know, there has to be a Ken O'Keefe, or else somebody will rise up. If there isn't, if they don't give us the people, the opposition, the controlled opposition, if they don't give us those people, then we'll elevate somebody. And if we elevate somebody and it's outside of their control, then, you know, that's dangerous. So as long as they keep elevating people to tell you to focus on Zionism, it's Zionism, you know, then they're still winning. As long as they have you believing that there's a difference between Zionism and Judaism, then they're winning. Let's see, is anybody going to mention anything important? Nope, nothing. So, we just saw Naftali Bennett, Prime Minister, tell you that they control Israel without or they control Wikipedia without a shadow of a doubt. That means everything you read on Wikipedia is what they want us to read. That's why I use Wikipedia. Because everything that then points to them and puts them in a negative light is because they allow it to be. And if you're dumb enough to think that anybody can edit Wikipedia, you're wrong. In some cases, people are allowed to suggest edits. But if anybody could just go in and edit, all they'd have to do is click edit, go to a page, click edit, click select all, click delete, click save, and they could just wreak havoc on Wikipedia. It's a bad business choice on their end. Nobody would give people the power, knowing, you know, what assholes exist and cause chaos just for fun. Nobody would allow the people to you know, destroy all that work. It's just a dumb thought. It's an illusion. You can suggest an edit that will then be sent to the Wikipedia editors, and if they ensure that what you said is balanced and Zionist in nature, then yeah, your edit might stick around. But if your edit goes against what they want it to, well, it disappears like everything does. So the first thing we're going to talk about is Team Jorge. And this one actually has the illusion that it can be edited. It can't be. Team Jorge is the name given to just one. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of these Israeli black ops organizations. And this one is so well known that there's a Wikipedia page about it. Is the name given to an outfit of Israeli contractors specialized in the use of malign cyber activities, including hacking, sabotage, and bot farm run social media disinformation campaigns to manipulate the outcomes of elections. They can't fuck with a YouTube page. They can only manipulate the outcomes of presidential level elections. That's it. The group was exposed in February 2023 after an award-winning undercover operation by journalists from Israel and France, even though it's not just Israel and France. It is France, Germany, Indonesia, Israel, Kenya, Spain, Tanzania, and the United States. But you would have to know to read further to figure that out. As part of a consortium of investigative journalists coordinated by Forbidden Stories, the organization has been active since at least 2015. Remember, just before Trump lost the election by 2.7 million votes, and then the APAC swamp put him in anyway. And boasts of having manipulated 33. Gotta love the 33. If you don't know about 33, you're not here yet. 33 presidential elections worldwide. Don't worry, white people. Many of them, meaning 4 or more, are in Africa. And in 27 cases with successful results. 82% of the time. 27 out of 33. They only failed 6 times they tried to interfere with an election. They were paid to interfere with an election. They only failed 6 times out of 33. 82%. That's an incredible success rate, especially when it comes to something that is like outside of your control necessarily. Like you have to manipulate a whole bunch of other people into thinking a certain way to get your way. This isn't like, you learn to shoot a basketball into a hoop, 27 out of 33 times. This is manipulating public opinion 27 out of 33 times. That's insane. Their activities were revealed following a 2022 sting operation in Tel Aviv carried out by 3 undercover journalists who posed as prospective clients and filmed their interactions with Tal, T-A-L, Hanan, H-A-N-A-N, the group's leader and former Israeli Special Forces operative, in which he explained how it worked. He said that they've been in existence for more than 2 decades and have been engaged in propaganda and disinformation activities in more than 30 countries. Their services have been available to who can pay for it, to government intelligence agencies, political campaigns, and private companies that wish to covertly manipulate public opinion. This is Wikipedia. It's so exposed. There's a Wikipedia page about a group that has control over a sophisticated system of a troll farm to manipulate public opinion and elections. They brag about manipulating elections. And there's not like a, task force to combat Team Jorge, because there's a task force to combat anti-Semitism. But this is okay. Israel flat out admitting that not only do they control Wikipedia, but then if you look at Wikipedia, Israel is admitting that they have an advanced system of bots, well, you'll find out in a minute, to manipulate elections. A troll farm. They acknowledge having these troll farms. You can find all sorts of videos of Suckadick talking about how proud he is that Facebook eliminated 1,000 troll farm profiles out of China, 800 out of the Philippines. One of the organization's primary tools is a software package called Advanced Impact Media Solutions, or AIMS. The software automates centralized control of thousands of fake social media profiles on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever it is. And if you actually read the articles about it and you hear what Tal Hanan says, he says that they're capable of creating 30,000 bot profiles at any time. And these bot profiles aren't like any other technology that exists. The more accurate term is avatars, because each avatar has multiple different social media accounts. Same avatar, different accounts. You know, they have an account for Facebook, an account for YouTube. And they're way more advanced. That the people that looked into this said this is a software we don't understand. It's not just bots. They're more like thinking avatars. So on one hand, in the comment section, you can see it, right? You have the automated system. The Trump 2028 commenters, and you know, the shit that's not as able to engage as well, right? The people that aren't sitting here going, yeah, we need to kill pedos, yeah, we need to eliminate the J slavery. The people that are here saying all kinds of stupid shit, right? But then there's the other side of it. The other side of it is the human side. By the way, if this is interesting to you, or you're opposed to this, like, share, and sub. Help the fuck out. If I'm wrong, if I'm crazy, then make sure you smash that dislike button. But if I'm right, or I'm at least onto something here, then hit the like button. Take 2 seconds and share this on Facebook. Share it under the heading, "This guy is crazy." Come tell him if you're scared of what people are going to say. Now, we'll see if my numbers drop, because usually my numbers drop. When I start asking people to share, the system doesn't seem to like it. So we'll see what happens. So this is one of these pages that's completely locked. So all of your excuses go out the window. Anybody can edit Wikipedia. Well, nobody can edit this page. Act.il was a social networking service used by supporters of Israel to oppose, quote, online anti-Israel content, such as the Boycott, Divestments, and Sanctions Movement, BDS. Its activities were referred to as a, quote, online propaganda campaign and, quote, a virtual situation room for pro-Israel experts. That's where you should really pay attention. Act.il directed its users to missions, quote, missions, to like, comment on, and share pro-Israel material on social media. Quote, it also asked users to flag, report, and respond to criticisms of Israel. Pay attention. Users were guided how to respond, which might entail writing a reply using the provided talking points. So they weren't guided on how to respond by saying how great Israel is and to debunk any sort of conspiracies or anything like that. They're guided on how to respond by saying, oh, you're a crackhead. This guy's delusional, doing everything they can to shoot the messenger. That's why so many of them not only say the same things, they screw up the same things. And since English isn't their first language, they screw that shit up too. But it's always the same kind of shit. Why do you think so many of them fuck up the yours? Because they're stupid, inbred, fucking, chosen pieces of shit. And or programmed by the inbred, chosen pieces of shit. The app also provided users with ready-made memes promoting Israel's perspective for them to share. Now pay attention. By completing missions, users earned points, unlocked badges, and had their scores displayed on leaderboards. They literally made trolling into a real-life style video game where they get real-life prizes, unlocking badges is real life prizes. So when you have a feed like mine that's completely dedicated to, we need to kill pedos, we need to you know, expose and eliminate the J control system that keeps us the 2,800 Gentile slaves and blah, blah. We need to eliminate the pedophile system, the network that's causing the genocide right now. And you have opposition, but the opposition isn't smart enough to engage in any sort of meaningful way. They just say stupid shit. Well, I believe I just explained it better than any of these fucking idiots will. If you're trying to tell me that, oh, it's just entertainment, I could literally be doing anything else in the world. I could be watching anything else. I could be, I'm on a phone. I mean, phones have, YouTube has access to so many different options. I could be watching porn. I could be jerking off. I could be banging my wife or girlfriend or boyfriend. I could be cleaning. I could be cutting the lawn. I could be out skydiving. I could be out doing anything else in the world. But I'm here right now because you're stupid. And I'll be here tomorrow and every other day for hours on end because you're stupid. That makes sense to you? Does it make sense to you that that's what's happening? That it's just some obsessed losers in a basement somewhere, desperately trying to get my attention, or it's act.il, Team Jorge shit, trying to shoot the messenger while still gauging what their opposition thinks and says. Which one makes more sense? You motivate me to stream eventually. Good, you should. Oh, now I'm a convicted pedo, huh? Where? Morning. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. That one especially. Well, they're both badass. That one looks like a Tasmanian tiger. Yeah. You ever seen those things? Yeah, badass. Have a good day, man. Real, like again, if I'm convicted of something, then show it. Prove it. Let's find it. See, what they're doing now is trying, because what I say hurts. The things that I'm saying, the exposing I'm doing, it hurts them. It hurts their feelings. They don't like that shit. It makes them look bad. So they try to do it back because it worked on them, so they're going to try to do it to me. It's like when people call somebody snowflake or whatever. Oh, so you're saying somebody called you snowflake at some point and it upset you? So now you're saying it like it's supposed to upset other people? But there's no, there is no backing this up. They make all these dumb claims and shit because it works. Because they know the unifier is our opposition to pedophilia. That's the thing that can make us all be like, hey, fuck that. If you're not a pedo, you'll overlook anything else to protect children. The vast majority of you come home from work, whatever, say it's raining really hard or whatever, and you got a neighbor that you don't like, but you come home from work and you see the kid is banging on the door, there's no lights on in the house, there's no cars in the driveway, and he's crying standing out on his front porch. How many of you are going to be like, oh, well, I don't like the neighbors, so I'm not going to offer to help the kid? None of the real people would do that. I'm sure a bunch of you pedos would look at it as a fucking opportunity. But the majority of us are this dude is literally convicted pedophile. The only reason why he has so much time in stream is because he is on house arrest due to charges he acquired in 2022 for molesting a 13-year-old. Where? Show us. Where are these charges from? You're really getting deep into your accusation. I mean, house arrest, I don't have any ankle monitors, so that's not really true. But this is the desperation. Think about this. This person is so, like, his fantasy, his imagination is so, obsessed with this thing that he's making up a narrative, all to avoid the acknowledgement that Israel is the bad guy, that we need to kill these pedos. Isn't that interesting? If I'm charged, then there should be record of it somewhere. Let's find it. It's not life, moron. Yeah, then where is it? Where is it? Yeah, see, it's interesting how it works. And again, are we to think that this is just random people? It's just random people. They got nothing else going on. It's a Saturday morning. It's 10 o'clock, but it's been going on for 2 hours, 3 hours, almost 3 hours. No, 2 hours now. They've been here since 8 o'clock. They got nothing else going on. And the one thing that they can come up with is to attack the guy that thinks we should kill pedos. Make that make sense. What a sad, sad life you live, says the person watching me. Begging for my attention. Gotcha. Are you complaining about people being in your feed? Yes. Yes, I am. Dude wakes up and cries about the same nonsense. Yes, it's nonsense to think we should kill pedos and eliminate the J control scheme. Who the fuck says that? Other than a pedo, or a J pedo, who is going to say that? And apparently, he's here a lot. He must watch a lot of the streams. Make you make sense. Yeah, that makes sense. It's funny, I'm asking this guy to actually prove the accusation, and instead now he's talking to other people in the comment section. Not me. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Tell me about subs. Yep, we should talk about subs instead. The J control scheme. Yeah, you are the worst people in the world. You're the one begging for attention. You're literally on live, so I'm begging for attention by going live. That makes... If I really just wanted attention, why wouldn't I sell you Jesus? Why wouldn't I be a televangelist and make $1 million if that was the case? Obviously, I have the oratory ability. So if it was just about attention, why would I pick the one thing that we're not supposed to talk about? Which apparently upsets all of you pedos out there to the point where you obsess over me. The chosen, the J, the worst people in the world. I'm a meth. Yep, now I'm a meth. So now we're going to meth. That's why I'm talking so incoherently. Really, this is the guy that made the accusation. When asked for proof, now he's changing the subject. I flat out think these guys are pedos, and they don't even acknowledge that. I've called this guy a pedo already, but that's how it works. I'm going to troll accusing him of the crime, yet he does not. There you go. There you go. He says if this dude was a pedo, he'd already removed the dude accusing him of the crime. That makes sense. When I try to hide it, why would I engage it? I encourage anybody to go try to find me on some sort of registry. I bet you don't. Just like I've offered all of these trolls time and time again, all you have to do is make a video, make a 2-minute, 5-minute, whatever video you want, where it's you doing the same thing I'm doing, and it's you talking shit about me. You tell me what I'm getting wrong. You tell me why you're so upset that you come here every day and beg for my attention. And don't say it's because I don't matter enough. You know, you don't matter. You come here every single day, hours on end, begging for my attention. To make a 5-minute video called Guy Williams Sucks so that we could see that you're a real person. You're not just an Israeli bot or an Israeli. Let us see your face, you talking shit about me, title it Guy Williams Sucks, and I'll play it live on the feed. Don't put any music in the background like you guys like to do. It's funny, I've been asking people to do this for over a year, and guess how many people have done it? None. Not one. There was it was a group, because it was 2 separate pages that posted the exact same videos that came on here. We did it. I posted Guy Williams Sucks video, so we looked it up. They posted, I think it was 5 videos, maybe 6, where the first ones are just like 30-second clips of mostly Israeli propaganda. Nothing, you know, or maybe a little clip from something, but that I said, but nothing with them. And then instead of making a quick 5-minute video where they're talking about me, just the easiest thing you can do, instead they put together a 5+ minute compilation of a bunch of different 10-second clips from feeds I had done in the past. So they had all of these feeds, you know, saved. They had all the timestamps already there already. All the times where I hurt their feelings, where I hurt their little feelings. They had all these different pieces clipped where they would write on it, you know, this guy's a jerk, shit like that. And in between those little 10-second clips of me from multiple videos in the past, I don't even know if they're all from even YouTube. I think some might have been from Facebook. And these videos went way back. These weren't like all recent videos. In between the clips of me was all Israeli propaganda. And this video was at least 5 minutes long. Anybody that knows anything about content creation understands just how ridiculous that is. Right? That takes a lot of effort, especially the part where you have all of my shit saved. Because either you have all of these clips, these timestamps just written down on a piece of paper somewhere or saved or whatever, or you somehow went back and watched all of my old presentations and then clipped it. Either way, it's fucking weird. It shows that I'm a hell of a lot more important to you than your dumbass is willing to admit. I mean, I literally, I can't, the only video I have like that is the Naftali Bennett video, and it's because it's the first 30 seconds of the video. So I just happen to know about that one clip. There's not a single regular person, especially, not some famous person, regular dumbass, that I can say, yeah, I watched his videos so much that I have little clips of him saying bits and pieces of things, and not a single, whether it's good or bad, I couldn't tell you a single timestamp for anybody. To have all of these timestamps there, to then clip the video, edit the video by writing on it, put together this compilation, while also having all of these pro-Israel propaganda videos on deck as well. Again, you either had to go search them all out and then clip each little bit from them that you wanted to use, or you already had it ready already. It was already ready already. Either way, the amount of effort it would take to make a video like that, and then of course play music over it so I can't play it on here. To put that much, that had to take hours to put that together. Instead of making a quick 5-minute Guy Williams sucks video, this is why. I would fold them all. Sure. Tough guys. Presentations, more like schizo ramblings. There's one of those talking points. One of those act.il talking points. Schizophrenia. Because one, schizophrenia is a joke. But two, they don't know what schizophrenia is. Because schizophrenia is I'd be sitting here talking to voices in my head and shit. But to think like, so what you're saying you've done is you found someone with schizophrenia that's live, so then you're gonna poke at them and talk shit to them, and that's who you are as a person. You find people with mental illness and then fuck with them. Boy, you must be a really good person. Oh, they're totally obsessed. It's insane. Look at these people. Let's fight. I want to fight. I'm going to fight somebody over YouTube comments. Oh, it's fucking stupid. Notice how you don't deny being a schizo. Yeah, I don't think it's a necessary denial. I mean, I do address it, though, and address how ridiculous it is, and address that you don't know what schizophrenia is, because I'm not sitting here talking to myself and blah, blah, blah. I addressed a lot about it, unlike you guys who never deny or even address the pedophile thing. Nice try, though. So you admit you have mental issues. Go get help. There we go. More of those talking points. Go get help. I should get help. You need help. How dare you think we should kill pedos? How dare you think we should overthrow the slave masters? No point. That, again, I'm so entertaining, there's nothing else in the world that's better. You could be doing anything else in the world, and you're here instead begging for my attention. Oh, ow, that hurts my feelings. 377 Peg Street in Yorkern, California. So we have a California person, so that means it's 8 o'clock here. And when we started 2 hours ago, that would mean it was 6 in the morning on a Saturday, and they're here. A lot of these guys' profiles seem to come through California. You ever watch content from Look Out for Charlie? No. No. Okay, I'm sending the police now. That's stupid. You are a Wikipedia warrior, and we laugh at you. Right. Now that's the person who I flat out just called a pedophile. And he laughs because that's funny. Pedophilia, rape, murder, genocide, slavery, that's all funny stuff. Ha 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 ha. Yes, this dude really does think submarines do not exist. Go watch parts 1 through 9 if you really are, you hear the conversation is about we should kill pedos and we should overthrow the Jace control masters who are the pedos, who are the people committing genocide. And you're like, but I don't want to talk about submarines. I'm a submarine enthusiast. All I look for on YouTube is people talking about submarine videos because I really, really like submarines. Like, there's no fucking way. If you would have told me a year ago, call your shit submarines don't exist, that's going to drive people wild. There are so many submarine enthusiasts out there that are going to get mad at you. It'll work out well. Like, I would have never believed you. I would have never believed you. It actually started out as the expose. It really did start off as I was trying to prove submarines one way or another. But when I saw the response that the title got, How the fuck would I have ever known so many people are submarine enthusiasts? It all goes to frequencies and biosensors and sure. You know, of course they don't give us the YouTube for free without any strings attached. They don't give us social media for free. You know that this is years ago when I looked. Facebook had 2.9 billion users worldwide. Meaning if Facebook just said, look, Facebook could either say, you know, we have to handle infrastructure, or they could even say Facebook wants to do good things. So they're going to start charging people $1 every month. That will go directly to your phone bill. You'll never see it. Your phone bill will go up by $1 every month. And Facebook's going to take 100% of those proceeds and give them to the Palestinians. Give them to pedo hunter organizations. Give them to the homeless. Whatever it is. Facebook could literally change the world. They could make $2.9 billion a month. And, you know, 99% of us, 95% of us would keep our face, especially if you've had your Facebook for a long time and it has all your memories and shit on it. You would absolutely pay your $1 a month and not even think about it, especially when it's just another $1 on your phone bill. You're not even noticing it. They could make $2.9 billion a month, $36 billion extra a year. That again, they could either give it away or they could just be selfish. They could split $39 or $36 billion amongst their top investors and shit. Every single year they can make an additional $36 billion. I doubt they make that much in ad revenue. They might. But instead of making an easy $36 billion, I mean, they could even say, you know, we're going to charge $5 a month to people's phone bill. You'll never see it. Again, 93% of us would still be like, well, I'm not giving up my fucking, all my memories and shit. I guess I got to pay the $5. I don't want to lose all my friends. I guess I got to pay the $5. That'd be like $180 billion a year they could make extra. And they just don't. Instead, they give it to us for free. I love the guy that made the accusation, who continuing to talk about other shit now. When asked for proof of his accusation, he started changing subjects. But again, they could make $180+ billion a year if they wanted to, no problem. Maybe knock it down, because some people, so $150 billion a year extra. And they don't. YouTube could absolutely do it. But they don't, because they give it to us for free. They give us a free system that allows us to communicate with each other. Allows the goyim to communicate with each other. To talk bad about them in reasonable ways. Why do you think that is? You think it's just they're just being nice? All right, I'm out of here. I actually wanted to know the connection between submarines and avoiding accountability and receiving them. Go ahead. What a fucking dumbass. I'm mad at you. You're not talking about what I wanted you to talk about. Like, even if this video was about submarines 2 hours later, or 2 hours ago, the fact that we've gone into this narrative and you can't engage in this narrative that's about killing pedos and overthrowing the Jays that control the system. You want me to go back to talking about submarines. Blah, 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 Jays this and Jays that. Blah, 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 go back to your medication. See? It's the best they get. It's the best they can do, because they can't. They can't say anything reasonable about what I'm getting wrong, or, you know, why their cult isn't a cult. It's a good thing. It's not the worst poison, the worst cancer this planet knows. No, it's a good thing. Our cult is good. Israel does all kinds of good stuff for the world. Here, let me list it off to you. They never say that shit. Mental health issues are content. So again, we have somebody who thinks I have mental health issues. So what they do is click on the thing. They go, oh, this guy has mental health issues. I'm going to talk shit because I'm a good person. This guy thinks we should kill pedophiles. How dare he? We just want you to make some concrete sense, right? It doesn't make sense that we should kill pedos and overthrow the Jays. What's up, Stink? It's gonna rain today. It's gonna rain today. Look. Go look up the weather. You have a phone.
Okay, what's up?
Yep. Rain, 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 rain all day. Turd.
Can I go inside?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Don't you dare go in my house. Seriously, what are you doing? Don't you open the door. Don't you do it. I just got the house unstinctified.
Okay.
Don't. Oh my God. Look how he talks to people. Jesus Christ. Yep. Look at this dumb shit, man. Look at this dumb shit. What we need to do, get rid of this system and its people, and it's these platforms that are seemingly free are to see who's awake and who's not. Exactly. Exactly. There is no Epstein list. This idea that he kept a little black book with a list of people who were the pedophile, it's so stupid. It's them setting up for disappointment. Of course there's no fucking list. What we need is a list of the names of the people that were on all those fucking, the videos, the VHSs, the DVDs, all the shit that they found in the safe, you know, that had the name of the person and then the name of the victim, and in some cases, their age on it. But we're always going to be given the wrong narrative. We're always going to be chasing the carrot because we're not addressing the head of the fucking monster. We just keep talking about the tentacles of the monster. And tentacles grow back. Tentacles sometimes grow back in twos. You know, the only way we can kill this monster is not by cutting off individual tentacles every once in a while, if we even can. We have to kill the fucking monster. We have to cut off the head of the monster to kill the monster. And the head of the monster is the cult. The cult that you've been convinced that if you say they have all the money, the power, and the control, that that's somehow a racial slur. When you compare the racial slurs that exist towards black people, towards Mexicans, towards Asians, and white people, everyone in between, and then you say, yeah, and then these people have all the money, the power, and the control, everybody's going to be like, oh my gosh, that's the worst one. How dare you say that? Money, power, and control. Oh, how dare you say they're cheap? Oh, you've been completely fucking duped. Again, if you're watching and you agree, like, share, and sub. Help the fuck out. If I'm wrong, make sure you smash the dislike button. But like, share, and sub. People need to be having this conversation at the very least. At the very least, we need to be looking at these things and deciding as a group, are we going to continue down this path, or maybe do we need to do something new? This guy's so woke, he's got it all figured out. I mean, I'm glad you acknowledge it, because we definitely know you can't debunk anything I'm saying. Literally, not a fucking thing, right? Look at these comments. It's a flight log and a black phone book, and we'll never see it. Yeah. But even then, how do you distinguish who the pedo is and who isn't? Of course businessmen have black books and have shit like that. Of course they do. We can't say each one of those. It doesn't have like a gold star next to the pedos or whatever. Dude, if you're letting these fucking trolls mess with you, you're a fool. Don't let the trolls get to you. Right? This is what they're doing. Their whole point is to try to disrupt. Their whole point is to try to distract. They're trying to interfere. They're trying to upset you. If they can do anything but answer the questions being proposed, that's what they're going to do. How can you be wrong? I'm hearing facts with common sense added, not bullshit and lies. Well, that's what it is. That's what I always ask you guys. How can I be wrong? What questions? Why do you believe in God? That's a good one. What's up, beautiful girl? Nice bike. Remember, you got to turn around at the car. You're so stylish. You always have the coolest clothes. The fact you would believe one person is above it is beyond stupid. People say guilt by association, and you're just dense. Thank you. Appreciate it, Caitlin and Cynthia. Or Cynthia. I'm preying on kids. See, that's what a pedo thinks, right? A pedo sees someone interacting with a child, and because they, that's when they're talking to a child, that means they're preying on them. They try to put that on other people, right? Wow, that was a bee. This is what they do. And if you just leave them, as long as they don't use the code words, you just let them, speak freely, they're going to out themselves. Yeah. The 3-year-old who's riding her bike, she should have stayed and hung out with me. You stupid. Such desperate shit, man. This is what they do. They out themselves. This is why pedos have to stay in small circles and shit with each other. Because, like if you're with your boys and you guys are walking down the street and some hot girl goes by, you all go, damn, and you look and titties and, yeah. They have to fake that one, and then they also have to control themselves that they don't do the same thing when a kid goes by. It's how they operate. Remember, you got to push backwards when you want to stop. Uh-oh. Dino bike! Barbie bike! Oh. That's the point. Birds of a feather, Trump stick together. Yeah, they absolutely do. What's up, dude? She's inside. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. You're talking too quietly. And I know you don't talk that quietly. Okay, then. That is Nick, yes. Along with all the others, but I guess there is no list because it's meaningless unless it's highlighted for you. Yeah, that's what it is. No, it's a distraction. It's a distraction. It's just like the Snowden leaks. You know, all the WikiLeaks bullshit. That stuff affected the outgoing administration. The incoming administration, the Trump administration, benefited from it. And there was nothing new said in any of that about Israel. It was all just well-known shit. It's all to distract us. Because unless we're saying, you know, we need to eliminate the cult, then we're being distracted. We're not talking about the head. You know, we have to kill the head of the monster. We have to decide, you know, we can't keep focusing on the things that they provide us and then they drag it out with distraction forever. I mean, think of if all the people talking about the list, all the people talking about Epstein, Trump, all that shit, imagine if they were talking about the genocide happening in Palestine right now. Or what's his name? What's his name? Your mom wants you. Stink. Your mom wants you. What's her name? What? I can't hear you, dude. I don't know why you're speaking so... Tom Alexandrovich. Imagine if everybody was talking about that shit.
What?
She's not here.
Yeah.
Yeah, forgot about that. Turd. Look at these guys putting their fantasies out there. Again, because they see every kid as a potential fucking victim, that's how they view things. They can't imagine talking to a child without trying to lure that child. And these are the Trump supporters, you know? These are your MAGAs. These are your Trump 2028. These are the people that are hitting up all of the profiles and just not showing up. Asking for pics and shit. This is how they operate. And they're giving you a window into it. You know, you don't think it's as bad as it is, and it's way worse. It's way worse than we can even comprehend. That's why there's still so much Trump support. Because there are so many people out there who are like, well, you know. Oh, a Trump supporter, it's weird that you're talking to other people's kids. It's weird that I'm talking to the neighbor's kids who have grown up with us and whose sister was at my house playing with my kids. Yeah. Again, if you think it's weird to talk to kids, that says a lot about you. You stink. P.U. What are you doing? You gotta turn around. What I should do is ignore the little kids that come up and want attention, right? Because that's what you have to do. You can either you either ignore them, or if you talk to them, it's because you're trying to get them. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. That's why you see the world that way. And yet, all these same people, the entire 2 hours when I'm saying over and over again how we should kill pedos, how we need to expose this system and all that, well, then they're trying to change the subject. Then they want to talk about other shit. Funny how it seems like, it's so obvious to paint the picture. Okay? They're outing themselves, and it's so important that people understand that shit. These guys aren't going to come on here and be like, yeah, I do like kids, actually. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. They'll never out themselves like that. The fact that somebody might find them and come, they're cowards. And who do you think is going to be, skilled in the fake profile arena? I don't know how to make fake profiles. To me, it's fucking irritating because, from what I know, your profile is attached to your IP address. So if your profile's fucked, then the IP address that's attached to you that's what you have. I don't know how to bypass that shit. Yet apparently a whole bunch of people who have nothing to say when I say we should kill pedos, and who don't think we should overthrow the J rulership, that's who knows how to do this. They can make profile after profile after profile. One day, they were, to prove the point, he kept making, it was like I had to block like 6 profiles before they finally stopped making profiles. And they'd make me like, haha, I'm back. And it'd be the next profile, and then I'd block it. And then, 3-5 minutes later, they'd come back, haha, I got another one. Who do you think has that kind of skill to operate, within the code like that? It's all right in front of you. Again, you just have to see it. You can't expect them to come out and acknowledge it. Hey, how much screen time you have today, bro? Hey, mom, what you know what you're doing on the internet? Look at this. This is the best they can do. Right? You try to address things like adults. You try to, express what the problem is, expose it, blah, blah, blah. And this is the best they can do. Push backwards on the pedal, goofball. Don't put your feet out, you're gonna fall. You did win, good job. Good job. Huh? Ready? Ready, don't cheat. Ready, set, go. Whoa, she even spun out. She's gonna get you. Dude, they're inside doing their thing. I don't know. I can prove, like again, it's so weird that you guys are trying to fight and get on there. Why would you expose those kids to secondhand smoke? No, dangerous. Secondhand smoke is? Yes. Outside. They're exposed to it. Oh, so stupid. This is Israel, man. This is what they do. This is the Jays. This is Matitza Bapé. What's up, dude? Go ahead. Okay, well, he's not going to. Why don't you ever debate a Jay? Because they don't come, because they're cowards. Because you guys are all fucking cowards. You sick pedo cowards. What's stopping you? What's stopping the debate? I love when people hide behind this shit. Like what's stopping the debate is me not bringing somebody on the live feed, some random profile. I've said it time and time again. If you really wanted to be on the live, you'd make yourself interesting. You'd make yourself someone I was like, oh shit, you know what? That's some pretty good points. Why don't I bring you on and you can say more? Nothing's stopping anyone from debunking or you know, exposing anything that I've said wrong. But they never ever seem to. Being outside alone without smoke, you're being exposed to more chemicals, way more dangerous than anything that comes from a blunt. Let's be real here. That's very true. That is very true. You got the wrong people. That's bait. Okay. I know secondhand smoke is BS. That's why what made it funny. Oh. It was super hilarious. You guys are stretching it past the snacking point. They have no choice. It's not about how that. It's about looking like a loser, walking around your front yard talking to yourself with pot smoke all in the air because you fry your brain all day. See this? That's something somebody can say, right? That whole bit of crybaby, pay attention to me. But they can't seem to say the thing that I'm getting wrong. None of them will tell you why they're here. The simple question, like, why are you guys here? Why do you come here every day? Why are you here right now? What motivates you to come here and point to your own stupidity? Knowing like you do nothing negative to me. I think it's hilarious. I think...
Bella wants me to use her phone. Bella wants me to add her on Roblox for some reason. I didn't even suggest this.
Oh, sorry.
He said don't hit Nick. Yeah.
I'll hit him all I want. I'll beat him up twice. What do you think you're doing?
Disrespecting.
What you doing?
He is mine.
You want to turn around and go down the hill?
Johnson, he's talking smack. You gotta get him. Beat him up.
Ada's scared of life without her training.
What is she doing?
Jonathan loves
Oh,
What are you
she's getting ready
doing?
to
Go
fight.
give that to mommy. Go tell her I'm hot. Go give it to mommy. Go give it to mom. Go give her your shirt so you don't lose it. Go tell her you don't want to wear that anymore. It's too hot. Well, then don't take it off.
I take like
What for?
Live, can't you duo stream with someone? I'm sure I could, but why would I want to? None of you deserve it.
Yeah.
You're gonna break that thing.
I'm not.
Yeah, you are. You're too big.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I promise you.
I promise you there's a weight limit and you're too big. I'm not saying you're fat or anything. I'm saying you're too big. To be like me riding it. It's too big. I'm here because YouTube pushed your channel. Oh, so if YouTube says watch something, you automatically click on it and then stay on it for hours begging for attention. Oh, well then that makes sense. And then come back day after day after day. Yep, that makes total sense. I would never do a live stream with you. You haven't made any sense. Like, I've said it before, like, I have no reason to make fun of the special kid. I have no need to bring you on here only to make you look really stupid. We're not even on similar levels. So for me to engage with you, it'd be like me trying to, argue with one of these kids. Oh, well, what do you think about the Epstein list, young man? And he said, I like my bike. Like, there's no benefit for me. I sit here and I make the special kid look stupid. Look what you're doing, man. You don't want to fall. I make the special kid look bad. That's going to benefit me how? If somebody came on here and was roasting me, like they kept bringing up things that I couldn't address, and I was like, man, you just, wow, I hadn't thought about it that way. Oh shit, I can't answer that question. I can't answer that question. I would be so fascinated. I would love to bring that person on and see what else they could break apart from what I'm saying. But this shit is insane. This guy has to be folklore in the neighborhood. Look at this shit. None of them are saying why they're here. Hating on my J mysticism with you J's are just the worst. There's no mysticism. There's nothing about it. It's just your arrogance, your supremacy. Yeah, you wouldn't do anything because you don't have kids. If you did have kids, they were taken from you a long time ago. Failed rapper. Yep, I'm a rapper.
Wait for your sister. Wait for your sister.
After the sun goes down, you're gonna steal that bike. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. You only read half the message. Yep. Why would I read this shit? What's the point? You're not saying anything that matters. I'm here to learn and now put an end to the Semitism that exists today. My life is dedicated to the cause. Well, look at somebody answered the question. That's weird. Your point. What you're talking about is all opinions. Stupid. Yep. It's just my opinion that we should kill pedophiles. That's not a fact. It's just my opinion that we should end the genocide that, in my opinion, is happening right now. It's just my opinion that they have all the money and the power and the control and that they, they rule with an iron fist. This is all just opinion. No facts are being stated here. Failed rabbit from a group called Bilderberg. It's on Google. Man, you have spent a lot of time on me, haven't you? It's actually the Bilderberg group. I don't have anything. I have nothing coming. Nothing ordered. I feel so weird. Have a great day. Right. Well, I want more. Right, look at this shit. What a sad waste of a man. Always high and railing on things he doesn't know anything about. LOL. Yep. I don't know anything about all of the Semitism and the Matitza Bipa and the Brit Milah and the mikvahs and, the Anu Domini and the Cornelius Drebbels and I don't know anything about any of this stuff. The people that do know it are the people that say the blanket statements, the crybaby shit, that come here apparently every day. Well, he's right. The minimum in my neighborhood. He's right. They let out a pedophile in my neighborhood for assaulting a girl. Yeah, he should have been killed. Why isn't he killed? Service level bait. He takes the service level bait that pushes the algorithm toward. Oh, okay. That pushes the algorithm, or the algorithm pushes you towards. Yep. Watched one YouTube video. Yep. That's what it is. Again, if I'm so stupid and wrong, why doesn't anyone actually point to one thing I'm getting wrong? Not one thing. Interesting how this works, huh? For hours now, these same profiles have been crying and begging for attention by putting out the bait. Not one of them can tell you why they're here or what I'm getting wrong. Two simple questions. Why are you here and what am I getting wrong? And not a single one can do it. He was a huge Mobb Deep fan. I wasn't a huge Mobb Deep fan, but funny. Memorizing CNN talking points. Oh yes, because CNN is always talking about how bad Israel is. Yeah, that's what it is. It's CNN now. I don't even have cable, so I don't know how I'd be watching CNN. Alcohol actually fries the brain and the body, but people overlook that fact. Oh, of course they do, because it's pushed everywhere. By who? By the Jays. Every single show that you see, like especially if it's like some high class, like the lawyer shows and Criminal Minds and shit like that. On the Chicago PD show, they literally own a bar, and in the crossover show, the police version, they always come in and they drink all the time. None of them talk about the Uber they're getting home. They all drive home all the time. Or the businessman and his martini lunches, or scotch on the rocks, blah blah blah. Like, it's really stupid how much they push alcohol on us. And alcohol is horrible. Nobody ever says, I smoked a bunch of pot, and the next thing I knew, I was laying next to a kid. I had no idea. No, that doesn't happen. That happens with alcohol. Oy vey. Gosh, Vega. I'm so wrong all the time, god damn it. You alright? Oh, you're not even making coherent. No coherent points. Not directly, but you ignore my comments. Yep. Now we're gonna say this one. I love that one. I love the idea that you did say it, but I ignored it. And if you did, well, you definitely can't say it again because you said it once, and I ignored it. Like, it's not my first day here. You realize that, right? Like, all of your stupid shit just isn't gonna work. You're not making any sense, and I can't track what the hell you're talking about. Wow. So how long have you been here? Because I would assume after you've been here for 5 minutes or so, you can figure out that it's about killing pedophiles and eliminating the J control scheme. Like, I would just love to punch Ben Shapiro in his fucking face. That guy is such a piece of shit. I can't stand that motherfucker. He's such a bad person. You cry and beg for attention every day and ignore your kids, right? Because 24 hours a day, my kids should be paying attention to me. Right? I do ignore you, right? And actually, you know what? I want you to stop doing what you want to do and come. Let's go do something else. Let's clean the house. What do you think? I want you to stop doing what you want to do. You could be out here playing with the other kids, but you're in there doing what you apparently want to do. But you should come out here instead. Why would I care about what an old man says? That's a good question. You've been here for well over an hour now. Why do you care about what an old man says so much? Exactly. There's nothing to prove wrong. Everything you're saying is nonsense. Yes, it's nonsense. We should kill pedos is nonsense. We should end the J control scheme is nonsense. Yep. So then you come here day after day and cry because I'm saying nonsense. You sure love it. Why would I'm not even listening? So what, you just watching me then? You just like looking at me? Is that your thing? I want you with the phone on mute. I love when they're dumb enough to say that. Ever heard of anti-Semitism? I'm very proud of my anti-Semitism. Time for an education. Bink. Let's all educate. Dink. Time for an education. Let's show you what you think. Okay, so we're going to go to the Google machine. We're going to click Semitism. And we're going to click definition. We're going to click search. We're going to go down to the Merriam-Webster definition. Semitism, definition and meaning. Merriam-Webster. Merriam-Webster page. Merriam-Webster.com.
Semitism.
We're looking up Semitism. What are we looking up?
Semitism.
Gotcha. Number 1A, Semitic character or qualities. Number 1B, a characteristic feature of a Semitic language occurring in another language. Number 2, policy or predisposition favorable to Jews. Policy or predisposition favorable to Jews.
Semitism.
Policy or predisposition favorable to Jews. Right? So, anti-Semitism, well, what does that mean? Morning, afternoon. Policy or predisposition. Policy are the rules and regulations, the policies. The APAC policy conference that's held every year that more government officials attend than anything else but the State of the Union address. Policy, discussing the American policies by which we, the Goyim, shall be governed. Policy or predisposition. Predisposition meaning how you go into it before you know anything. Before you know who's even involved, before you know any of the information or anything, you know that if you find out one of them is Jewish, they're going to have a favorable outcome. They're going to get your favor. It's literally supremacy. Supremacy. What does supremacy mean? Let's see if there's a quick... The quality or state of being supreme, especially a position of unquestioned authority, dominance, or influence, ultimate authority or power. Those are the definitions. Ultimate authority or power, believing that you are in a position of being supreme. Policy or predisposition, favorable to you. That is the definition of supremacy. So, if somebody says they believe in anti-Semitism, they're saying they are anti-supremacy. It's a good thing. Now, when somebody accuses you of being anti-supremacist, if you're anti-Semitic, that is a racist term, right? Semitic refers to all of the people of the region. And really, studies have recently come out showing that 95% of the Israelis aren't Semitic at all. They're European, they're Ukrainian, a lot of them are Ukrainian, they're American. They don't have any Semitic blood. I'm so used to saying it the other way. They don't have any Semitic blood. But if anti-Semitic would be what's happening to the Palestinians. That's anti-Semitic. The Palestinians, the Iranians, the Iraqis, the Syrians, the Lebanese. It's also why you can't scream out Free Palestine, because you say that to them, to the Yemeni. Free Palestine, to the Yemeni? To the Lebanese? No. Free Palestine is just the thing they allow us to say. The true rally cry is end the cult. End the cult that's doing this to everybody, not just the Palestinians. But you should be offended if somebody says you're anti-Semitic. And you need to correct them. No, I love the Palestinian people. I'm standing for the Palestinian people. They are the Semitic ones. Semitism is something everybody should be opposed to. Nobody is better than everyone else and should have favor over everyone else. That's bullshit. And if one group does deserve favor over everyone else, then shouldn't there be like reason for it? Shouldn't that not be something that's such a hard thing to get to the bottom of? You know? Why you cry so much if somebody asks you why you deserve Semitism? Coined in 1880s to oppose exactly that, this idea of favoritism going to one group. And just like they did with like conspiracy theory, they weaponized it. They did the same thing with Semitic. They did the same thing with blood libel. You'll hear anytime somebody says something, Netanyahu will claim that's blood libel. Well, no. Blood libel is what you do. The killing of Christian children and then baking their blood into the matzah. This is an accusation that's only been associated with one group in the historical record for over 1,000 years. And that's if you believe the historical record. But according to the historical record, one group has been associated with this. That's what blood libel is. But they weaponized it and they use it now to their advantage. In 2020, they had a hearing to change the spelling of anti-Semitism from ANTI-SEMITISM to ANTI-SEMITISM, all one word, because the reason that they gave was that they didn't want people to think anti-Semitism opposed something called Semitism. They didn't want people to know that Semitism was a word. So they had hearings to change the spelling. How many other words have you heard that word spelling was changed after 140 years? You ever heard of that before? Didn't happen for anything else I've ever heard of. Especially not to have like hearings about it, government legislation about it. Which literally then creates a whole bunch of work necessary because people then have to go back through and update everything and change the spelling on things. However, Trump's task force to combat anti-Semitism is still spelled the old way for some strange reason. And if none of this shit mattered, why would it exist? If it really didn't matter, then why would they go through the effort to do it? If us knowing the real definition of Semitism wasn't important, why would they hide it? These are all just easy, basic sort of questions that shouldn't be a problem to answer or ask or anything. Like if I'm wrong, you should be able to just be like, oh, well, you're wrong because of this, this, and this. And oh, shit, I didn't think about it that way. Look at these weird-ass fucking comments, man. Europeans in Israel are from the Caucasian region of Europe. Palestinians are Semitic anymore. I mean, at the end of the day, we just have to believe the narrative as far as that goes. But according to the narrative we're given, that's true. We don't know if that narrative's actually real or not, but www.the-bilderberg bilderberg-group.com. All links will be in the description. Go there, get your free download. Free to listen to, free to download. Click download, it'll ask you how much you want to pay. You click 0, and it's free. You can donate. We appreciate all the donations that have come through, but it's not necessary. All we ask is that you share it. I'm going to leave you with a link to Hollywoodism, which is the greatest film ever created. Because it talks about basically all of this shit. It explains why we think the way that we do. And the best part is, it's not a movie I made, or Alex Jones made, or some other bullshit. They made it. It's a flex. It's a brag. They made it like, look, we control Hollywood. We always have. Essentially, you could say the American dream is the Jewish dream. There's a quote directly from the movie. And it explains to you, why you believe history is what it is. Why why what's happening right now is happening. Because they control it. They made it this way. They engineered this to be this way. There'll also be 3 links to the Facebook page, the songs on Facebook. Donald Trump Hates America, COVID Sauce, and Sleight of Hand Job, 3 of our newer songs. Oh, there are many, 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 many. Go check those out. Go like, share, and sub on those on the Facebook page. If I'm not live here, I'm live there. Don't forget to like, share, and sub this video, this page. Understand it's time for Team Goyim to rise up. It's time we live the Jetson-like life we deserve. It's time we turn this lifetime, this one precious, amazing life we have, into the utopia that we should be living in. There's so much technology that's out there that's hidden from us. Solar roads, water cars, Free energy is an easy accomplishment. We shouldn't be paying for energy. We shouldn't be paying for gasoline and all this other bullshit. Machines should be doing most of the fucking work. They can do it better than we can. And the jobs that would be left over, there are plenty of people like my father-in-law who wouldn't want to sit around and, get all philosophical and shit. They'd want to work. So fucking, you go get to be the guy that pushes the button that makes sure everybody has power. He would love that. If everybody needed to work, then you could make the workday 2 hours a day, 3 days a week. So everybody could contribute if that was what was necessary. And instead of the goal in life being money, the goal of life is contribution. What can you contribute to the world? And don't get it twisted, man. Everybody can contribute. That asshole, who fortunately doesn't hurt children, but lives in his mom's basement, fat piece of shit drunk, mean to everybody, hates life, ugly, virgin, mad at the world, walking down the street to get his morning fifth from the party store up the road, and as he's walking, suddenly, boom, boom, kid falls on his shoulders. They fall to the ground. He didn't see that a kid was in a tree, and the kid fell out of the tree and landed on him to break the fall, and the kid jumps up, sorry, mister, and runs off. And the guy's like, oh, you fucking asshole, blah, blah. He's all right, whatever. That kid grows up to cure cancer. Is that dude that prevented his head from smacking into the pavement any less important than the kid that did it? No. If your contribution is that you're a good friend to somebody, you raise the next generation of world changers, whatever it may be. You raise the kid that's the best friend to the kid that grows up to cure cancer, whatever it may be. Art, beauty, we create the world that we clearly used to have before the last reset. That should be the goal. Those people didn't have conflict. Those people didn't have fucking J Supreme, control masters. Those people built buildings we can't build today. Those people built structures we can't build today. And those people had alchemy and all this other crazy cool shit that we're told is just fantasy. And then when asked, well, how did they build those castles and those churches and all those things in the 1500s, 1200s, 700s? How'd they do that? Weren't they like on horseback with hammers and chisels? Yeah, they did it. Yeah, in just a year or two. Yeah. But that doesn't make any sense. But they did it though, didn't they? Yeah, they built the Empire State Building in 400 days. 1931 in New York. Depending on when they did it, you know, dealt with two winters. And maybe if they started the project in June, then they wouldn't have to deal with the second winter. But if they started the project in January, well, that would have been 2 winters they had to deal with. New York winters that they put a skyscraper up, for the largest skyscraper in the world. Ornate, top to bottom, inside and out. Yeah. They just did that. They just built all those churches. They just built all those castles. They built Mont Saint Michel just in the middle of the fucking water like that. Made the whole mountain into a castle. Made the whole island into... Yeah. Why are you so... Why don't you just believe that? Did you get your shots? You didn't get your shots, did you? Do you believe in Jesus? Because if you believe in Jesus, then I guess you'll believe in anything. It's the foundation of why you're so stupid. It has to be that way. Because if you don't believe in Jesus to start off, then you're probably not going to believe the rest of the bullshit they give you. And I can't believe it's taken me this long to say it, but I can actually prove that you're an arrogant asshole. It's not about common sense or knowledge. You're just arrogance. Because every single one of you doesn't believe that Oswald shot Kennedy all by himself, no big, it's exactly the way the people tell us. Most of you don't believe 9/11. But the same people that tell you the earth is round, you believe that. You have nothing. You have no connection to Kennedy, Oswald, anything like that. You have no reason other than you were shown the narrative and it didn't make sense to you, so you don't believe it. And because you looked around and everybody else said it too, you were like, okay, I can say this. I'm allowed to say it. Everybody else is saying it. You choose not to believe the Kennedy narrative. You choose not to believe the 9/11 narrative. I bet you there's not too many of you out there that got all your shots, all your boosters, and all your everything when you were told to by that same system, did you? Because you chose not to believe those things. Just like you chose to believe in Jesus for no reason whatsoever. You have literally no reason to believe such a ridiculous narrative, to the point where the other narratives that are very similar, like Islam, you call that shit crazy. You have no reason. You have the exact same reason to believe in Islam as you do Christianity, but Islam's crazy and Christianity's right, and you can't handle why or talk about why. The reason is you're arrogant. You're just an arrogant douchebag. You might be nice in real life, but when it comes to your beliefs and shit, you're an arrogant douchebag. Good thing is, it's not like a lifelong affliction if you don't want it to be. You could absolutely change that. You could ask yourself, why do you believe in the thing you believe in? You could try to comprehend, is it your thoughts or is it somebody else's thoughts? But you won't do that, will you? Did they shut the comments off? Can't tell. Well, I can kind of tell, but it seems like it. Either way, like I said before, go get your free download. Go watch Hollywoodism. Go check out the music videos. Oh no, look, the comments are still here. Chemtrails are real. They're really spraying metals and other. Just real quick. Sorry, I guess you got me on this one. Ready? Belch. So when you look up chemtrails, first thing that comes up is the chemtrail conspiracy theory. First sentence. The chemtrail conspiracy theory is the erroneous belief that long-lasting condensation trails left in the sky by high-flying aircraft are actually chemtrails consisting of chemicals or biological agents sprayed for nefarious purposes undisclosed to the general public. The second sentence. Believers in this conspiracy theory say that while normal contrails dissipate relatively quickly, they do. Contrails that linger must contain additional substances. They must. Third sentence. Those who subscribe to the theory speculate that the purpose of the chemical release may be, and it's in blue, solar radiation management, weather modification, psychological manipulation, human population control, biological or chemical warfare, or testing of biological or chemical agents on a population, and that the trails are causing respiratory illness and other health problems. Well, what is solar radiation management? Solar radiation modification, or solar geoengineering, is a group of large-scale approaches to reduce global warming by increasing the amount of sunlight that is reflected away from the Earth and back into space. So, there's your diagram, where the sunlight, see how the sunlight is bouncing back, bink, bink, bink? Well, if they use stratospheric aerosol injection, small particles would be introduced into the upper atmosphere to reflect the sunlight to induce global warming or induce global dimming, because the IPC concluded the most research of all proposed SRM methods, SAI has received the most sustained public attention. The IPCC concluded in 2021 that SAI's stratospheric aerosol injection is the most researched SRM method, with high agreement that it could limit warming to below 1.5 degrees Celsius, because global warming is so bad because the Earth is 1.5 degrees warmer than it should be. Custom-designed aircraft are considered the most feasible delivery method, with artillery and balloons occasionally proposed. Special aircraft. Marine cloud brightening, also known as cloud seeding or marine cloud engineering, may be a way to make the stratocumulus clouds over the sea brighter. Wait. What is cloud seeding? Let's look up cloud seeding. Look what pops right up. Plane drops stuff into cloud rains. Cloud seeding is a type of weather modification that aims to change the amount or type of precipitation, mitigate hail. Have any of you ever heard of the government saying there is a hailstorm brewing and we're going to send a bunch of jets up into the sky to mitigate that situation? Have you ever heard of such a thing? Or disperse fog. Gee, the day that San Bernardino happened, a blanket of fog covered the northern hemisphere of the Earth for like 3 weeks, to the point where they had to address it and say, oh, it was a cold fog. Whatever the fuck that means. You guys remember that? Nobody was talking about it, of course, because of San Bernardino. But it was foggy every single day for like 3 weeks. They didn't use their cloud seeding to disperse that fog, did they? The usual objective is to increase rain or snow, either for its own sake or to prevent precipitation from occurring in days afterward. What? But chemtrails aren't real. But chemtrails aren't real. Well, let's look at a couple of, this is the history, right? First, we have the beach 18, dry ice. Use dry ice for cloud seeding in the early post-war era U.S. Early post-war era, so the 40s? As early as the 40s, they had figured out how to drop something out of a plane? Lockheed 18, cloud seeding from Wagga Airport in 1958, Australia. The T-28A Trojan Rainmaker 1960 in the US, along with the Curtiss P-40 Rainmaker in 1964, now at Yanks Air Museum. Rainmakers in the 50s and 60s. The Curtiss P-40N Weather Modification Company cloud seeding. Here you have the Harvard Hail Defense, 1964 in Canada. You guys have heard about the Harvard Hail Defense, right? Here you have a Cessna 210, 2006 in Austria. Oh, look at that little device that's on the thing. Oh, well, it couldn't be. The only way they could outfit planes is if they're these little planes, right? They couldn't put these same kinds of things on bigger planes. And that's not HARP. That's not a band of signal that's just coming through here. It's not affecting anywhere else. But right there. Interesting how you can't find paintings from throughout the ever of skies that look like this. Back when people would paint skies because they really didn't have a lot. So one of their main things was painting a sky or something. Or, you know, a landscape that had skyscrapers and shit in it. But we don't like talking about that. Here you have the Cessna Skymaster 2015, specifically in Israel. And then here you have the Alpha Jet in 2014 in Morocco. Oh, well, now we're getting the bigger planes. In 1891, Louis Gathman suggested shooting liquid carbon dioxide into rain clouds to cause them to rain. Liquid carbon dioxide? Carbon dioxide doesn't have a liquid form. Wait, what? Liquid carbon dioxide is the state of carbon dioxide which cannot occur under atmospheric pressure. It can only exist at a pressure above 5.1 at ass to mouth ATM, 5.2 bar, 75 psi, under 31.1 degrees Celsius, 88 degrees Fahrenheit temperature of critical point, and above minus 56.6 degrees Celsius or 69.9 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the temperature of triple point. Low temperature carbon dioxide is commercially used in its solid form, commonly known as dry ice. Solid CO2 sublimes, meaning it goes straight from solid to gas, at between minus 78.5 degrees Celsius and, at sublimes at 194.65 K, which is minus 78.5 degrees Celsius to minus 109.3 degrees Fahrenheit. At Earth's atmospheric pressure, that is, it transitions directly from solid to gas without an intermediate liquid stage. The uses and applications of liquid carbon dioxide include decaffeinating coffee, extracting extra virgin olive oil from olive paste, in fire extinguishers, and as a coolant. So unless it's under a tremendous amount of pressure, it can't be a liquid form. So how do you think they suggested using it in 1891. What methods did they have in 1891, 4 years before the power tool, to create liquid carbon dioxide? You know what's even better? I'm off on a tangent here, but you know what's even better? Let's look up dry ice. You tell me how this works. It is generally accepted that dry ice was first observed in 1835 by French inventor Adrien Jean-Pierre Thiollet, 1790 to 1844, who published the first account of the substance. In his experiments, he noted that when opening the lid of a large cylinder containing liquid carbon dioxide, most of the liquid carbon dioxide quickly evaporated. Where the fuck did he get liquid carbon dioxide in 1835? This left only solid dry ice in the container. So wait, let's see. Let's see what it says. Manufacture, wait. In 1924, almost 100 years later, Thomas B. Slate applied for a U.S. patent to sell dry ice commercially. Subsequently, he became the first to make dry ice successful as an industry. 1924. I'd like to know who made the liquid carbon dioxide to begin with. You have to then, so you'd have to be able to pressurize, you'd have to separate carbon dioxide from everything else, then pressurize it and cool it to get it to the point where dry ice would form, because we'll get there, watch. In 1925, the solid form of CO2 was trademarked by the Dry Ice Corporation of America as dry ice, leading to its common name. Manufacture. Dry ice is easily manufactured. Oh, is it now? The most common industrial method for manufacturing dry ice starts with a gas having a high concentration of carbon dioxide. Such gases can be a byproduct of other processes, such as the production of ammonia from nitrogen and natural gases. So, in 1835, people were producing nitrogen, which gave the byproduct of carbon dioxide that they were able to contain. Is that what we're saying? And the natural gases? Oil refinery activities or large-scale fermentation. Oh, so they would take it from the fermentation. Okay. Second, the carbon dioxide-rich gas is pressurized and refrigerated until it liquefies. So what was the refrigerant used in 1835 to create the liquid? Because it has to go to liquid before it can turn to the solid, right? You know, the problem is with your single mother stuff, there's so many scammers out there. Nobody can tell anymore. And anybody would be foolish to just go give money to someone who says that they're doing something. So it's refrigerated and pressurized until it liquefies. Next, the pressure is reduced. When this occurs, some liquid carbon dioxide vaporizes, causing a rapid lowering of temperature of the remaining liquid. As a result, the extreme cold causes the liquid to solidify into a snow-like consistency. Finally, the snow-like solid carbon is compressed into small pellets or larger blocks of dry ice. I'd love to know who came up with this method and how. In 1925, what were they doing to cool carbon dioxide down to the point where it would liquefy and then pressurize? What machines, what technology were they using in 1924, let alone 1835 when he opened his container of liquid carbon dioxide? See this? You see this shit? I'm asking questions about some science stuff. And does anybody think the average fucking dumbass Israeli inbred troll knows anything about this stuff? Of course, because they're such arrogant pieces of shit, you know, they act as though, like, I'm foolish for knowing this stuff and then reading it and then breaking it down in a way that they can't debunk. But it's me, I'm the bad guy. They are decades ahead of us technology-wise. Well, in 1989, they gave us the stealth. And people had been reporting seeing winged aircraft like that for 50 years at least. Turns out, they've had stealth since at least the 40s. At least. So all those people that were called crazy and ridiculed and all this other shit because they said they saw something in the sky that didn't fucking make any sense, especially if you were, you know, looking at like 1950s planes and shit, and then suddenly this stealth plane comes out of nowhere. So we're at least 50 years behind on that. But then again, we've been given drones now too. And drones can do things that we didn't think were possible. Fly in all different directions, fast, and all that shit. Well, doesn't that account for, like, let's say 50% of the UFO sightings were stealth? Doesn't that account for the other 49%, 49.9% of the other shit that they supposedly have been seeing? Technology opens up the past. ChatGPT explains where our bullshit history comes from and how they were able to produce so much of it. They put in the parameters and ChatGPT spit out the script. They just don't let us know about it. Eventually we do, and if you backtrack, you can see, oh, well, I guess that makes sense. But dry ice is a technology that just, it's so far beyond measure. Then again, the first air conditioning system was invented by good old Cornelius Drebbel in 1620, or around 1620, you know, when he invented the first submarine. What air conditioning system did he invent? Who knows? But it's on the record, just like he was said to have the ability to make it thunder and lightning on command, unlike any other person I've ever heard of in history. So you would think this guy would be a fucking George Washington type character. Nope. You've never heard of him. Kind of impossible unless the computer was around before the 50s. Well, see how everything comes full circle? So in 69, they introduced the Concorde, a hypersonic jet that could travel at 55,000 feet and traverse the continents from continent to continent in like half the time of normal jets. It was the first airplane to be flown by computers. Takeoff and landing was the only thing that the humans did at that point. Everything else was done by computers. Well, what did 69 computers look like? Think about what NASA showed you as far as the big refrigerators with the lights on them and the reel-to-reels and shit. Or how about in 1952, because again, it comes full circle. In 1952, they just decided that they needed nuclear-powered submarines. So Hyman Rickover, who was a Jew but converted to Protestantism, you know, like so many of them do. By 55, 56, we had it. And a nuclear-powered submarine has a nuclear power plant, a miniature nuclear power plant, along with a desalination plant inside of it, along with everything else. Not to mention the ballast tanks and all that other shit that would have to be operated by computer. So, you know me, I don't believe that shit. But you do. So then you know that they had very advanced computer systems in the 50s. They had to have. They had to. Now, I'm not saying I don't believe in the Concorde, but something else, something weird is going on with that one for sure. They had one accident, and this thing that had the monopoly on luxury long-distance travel, that provided a monopoly that the richest people could take advantage of to accommodate them, like that shit would be, that would be the such big money right now. Everybody would pay less. Every rich person would pay $1,000 extra to save a few hours travel in luxury, blah, blah, blah. Hypersonic travel, 55,000 feet. But what would they say if people were at 55,000 feet, looked out the window and didn't see a curve? That'd be hard to explain, wouldn't it? So apparently, there was one small accident with the Concorde, and it shut the whole program down. And it's never been built again. Nobody's ever decided to invest a few $1,000,000 into another monopoly that would absolutely make all the money. Because it's all fucking stupid. Unfortunately, I have to admit that the Big Bang Theory is even dumber than the dumb fucking Christian Bible bullshit. But it is. You didn't come from monkeys. You didn't come from God. There's another option. There are other options. You're just not, smart enough to guess, to think about them. I don't know. Anyway. Good job. You got me on for another 20 minutes. So, I gave you the links. www.the-bilderberg, bilderberg-group.com. Free download, free music. Hollywoodism. Greatest film ever made. Most important film ever made. And the links to the Facebook page. Go like, share, and sub. Like, share, and sub this. Go get the free download. Go watch Hollywoodism. It's all going to be in the description. Most importantly, the most important thing I ever say, because the world works the way it does. Maybe you're just one of these pedos that deals in child exploitation materials and you have shit on your phone or your computer or whatever. There's a lot more of you than people realize. Several of you are watching right now. That's not going to be good enough forever. Eventually, you're going to be put in a position where you have the opportunity to hurt a child. And you will. That's what you guys do. So whether you've done it already, or if you haven't yet done it, but you're capable of it because you have those things on your phone and whatnot, do one good thing in your life. Make the world a better place. Do one good thing. Pedophiles, kill yourself.